Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. I'm joined by here from my brothers from another mother. Unbiased to biased boxing talk. Mr. Two Hands Up. Salute, fellas. Salute.
Salute.
What's
Now,
going
look,
on?
I got to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. My brother Boxing Monster, Lisa Bells, Miguel, Ricardo, Martin, Charles D. You know, everybody. John Cable, salute everybody for coming through. Alan, I see you. Martin Machine, my G. Now, look, we got to get right on this about what Demetrius Andrade has stated. And, you know, he said a lot of interesting things as of late. And, you know, one thing he said, according to AB Boxing News, is he stated, how are you going to beat Andre Ward? I beat him with my jab. I beat him with my IQ. I got way more speed than him. My footwork is better than his. He's not going to touch me. That's how I'm going to beat him. If Andre Ward wants to get back in the ring, I'll fight Andre Ward. So basically he's saying Andre Ward's not going to touch him. That's his exact words, is Andre Ward's not going to touch him. The same guy that struggled with a Jack Colque said Andre Ward won't touch him. Then he goes on to say he could beat Andy Ruiz Jr. Usyk, I don't know. That's a tough fight. But he could beat Andy Ruiz Jr. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to get this first before I step in. So I'm going to go to Unbiased and Mr. Two Hands. Whoever wants to go first, you guys, the floor is yours.
Yo, listen, man. I'm to the point where, bro, I'm just tired of being politically correct with Demetrius Andrade. You know, listen, D. Jefferson can back me up on this shit. I've debated in favor of Demetrius Andrade with the whole Charlo situation. You know, Charlo ducked him flat out, ducked him, doesn't want to fight him. But the tough thing about this guy is he's ducked fights as well. And look, he struggled with Jack Colque. You're 100% right. For him to come out of his mouth and say that his footwork is better than an Andre Ward, who is an all-time great, and his hand speed, and he has a better ring IQ. Like, this dude is like, this is the shit that I'm talking about with this guy. Like, this guy, honestly, his resume is horrible. You know, what is wrong? Like, what is wrong with this guy, man? Like, he should be trying to fight Derevyanchenko. Go fight Derevyanchenko. All right. Charlo don't want the smoke. Cool. Fight Derevyanchenko. Still fight good. Fight good opposition. Stop saying you could beat Ward. You could beat Andy Ruiz. Like, this dude must be high. This dude struggled with Jack Colque. Like, come on, bro. And he got dropped by Vanis. You know, at 160, his opposition is not that great. Neither is his Charlo. Like that, but I'm just saying, like, how long are we going to be politically correct about Andrade? Like, I get the whole man, fuck PBC narrative, but bro, fuck Andrade. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying, all right, well, yeah, let's big up Andrade, but fuck the PBC when he out here fighting tomato cans. You know what I'm saying? And saying dumb shit like you could beat fucking Andy Ruiz and Andre Ward. Man, please get the fuck up out of here. I'm done with that dude. He could take his Murs dreadlock looking ass and go somewhere.
Mr. Two Hands, my brother, do you want to touch on this real quick, this Andrade situation? I think Two Hands, you might need a minute. Salute D.
Hold on, no, I'm back. My shit was on mute. Of course, I want to touch on it. Of course, you know, we're talking about the homie SOG. I want to make this very clear because, you know, Unbiased touched on this a little bit. I want to make this very fucking clear. My mission as a person who talks about boxing, as a fan of boxing, you know, who talks shit, you know what I'm saying, who talks about boxing to other people, to, you know, hundreds of people at a time. It's never been a mission to, you know, stomp LDBC or like a certain boxer just because it's to combat a narrative or to combat the LDBC. If I genuinely like a fighter or if I say something about a fighter, it's always going to be genuine and it's always going to be facts or it's always going to be from a passionate, highly opinionated point of view that come from me. Now, fuck all of that. Now, speaking on what Andre Ward is doing and what Andre Ward is saying right now, you know, in one aspect, I can understand the tactics. And another aspect of just reality, it's fucking stupid. It's just pure stupidity because, you know, we talking about a two-time, a multiple world champion. We talking about, you know what I'm saying, a world level consensus #1 Ring Magazine transitional ranking board champion. Like, no debate. Super lineal, no debate. Like, you ain't even beat a Alan Green, bro. Like, you ain't even beat a Alan Green, bro. You ain't even beat a Arthur Abram, bro. Stop it. You ain't even beat a Chad Dawson, bro. Stop it. Let's be serious, bro. You ain't even beat a Sullivan Barrera, bro. Stop it.
All facts. All facts.
You know what I mean? I like Demetrius Andrade, and you know what I'm saying now. You know, I've made that clear. I like Demetrius Andrade, but I'm not a fan of stupidity. Now, if you're trying to use this as a situation where you're looking at your career right now and you truly feel as though you can't get other individuals in the ring to fight you, that's cool. And you're trying to get Andre Ward to come off the porch, that's cool. But that ain't a good way of going about it. You can feel confident in your craft, but to sit up there and act like you'll beat him and to talk about your intangibles like they top Andre Ward, who is an undefeated Olympic gold medalist, who, like I said, I've already ran down the credentials. Bruh, you ain't beating the Mikhail Kessler. I'm sorry. Like, so you want to sit up there and act like, you know what I'm saying, you this top flight goon all of a sudden who just going after all of these opportunities in the boxing world and you just not getting them, man. Let's just stop it, bro. Let's stop it, because I ain't gonna let you disrespect Andre Ward. I don't know one boxer who has done what Andre Ward has done in 2 divisions in 3 years and all of the accomplishments. Ooh. It definitely ain't you.
Ooh, D, what do you think about this Andre Ward situation? We gotta hear you speak that truth.
Well, first I'm gonna start off by saying this. Demetrius Andrade, you idiot. You know what I mean? Let me start off by saying that. This dude has bumped his motherfucking head, pardon my friend. But listen, when you talk about like, everything he was saying was kind of off. If you watch the video, the dude seemed kind of off anyway. Like, something wrong with that cat, bro. He kept cutting the dude off while he was interviewing. He kept talking about nonsense. So something ain't right with the dude anyway. But I can understand you, just like Mr. Two Hands said, I can understand you going at Andre Ward right now because of the situation. You beating him, ain't no way in hell, but I can understand why you go at him. But where did he get off talking about beating Andy Ruiz? Ooh. See, this is when I know he was really going. Like, dude, you couldn't even beat convincingly a Sulecki, a Keebler. Like, dude, Andy Ruiz will knock you not out, but across the ring. Get you back up and knock your ass out again. Like, listen, one body shot. I've always said I want to see guys break Demetrius Andrade down to the body and then put him away. Something that Andy Ruiz would definitely do. And what would you be throwing at Andy Ruiz? He eat them shits up like bubblegum. Mosquito bites, bro. Literally mosquito bites to that dude. What is wrong with Andre? Like, see, this shows you right here. He's got to be on an episode of clout chasing, because damn near everything he said in that video was clout chasing. And then you're going to sit there and knock somebody else's opponent? Like, Andre, who have you fought, bro? I guess Vanes Monterosian makes you the GOAT. Like, who have you fought, bro? I don't know what's wrong with this guy, Andre. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. But him seeing Ward, him calling out Ward, him even mentioning his name with Ward, talking about you utilize your jab. You utilize your jab? Oh, my God, bro. This dude, man, he must have been smoking some real potent herb. Let me tell y'all something. I smoked some herb, but that shit he's smoking, I need to get his number and get some of that.
Look, I just want to say this real quick. I've heard Unbiased speak positive things and defend Demetrius Andrade when he was ducked by Jamal Charlo, when he was ducked by Billy Joe Saunders. I've heard Two Hands Up say the same positive things. I've heard D. Jefferson say the same positive thing. So I would never want anybody to misinterpret what we're saying as promoting a narrative or dissing Demetrius Andrade. It's pretty much keeping the same energy with Demetrius Andrade that we keep with everybody else. And I'm going to prove my case in point, because I've always said Demetrius Andrade is a slippery fighter. He could give Canelo some problems. Even though I think Canelo would win, I think Demetrius Andrade has a good skill set that would be challenging. See, I'm not a hater of Demetrius Andrade. I've always given props. I think the problem is when guys try to pump these dudes up, we got to smash those narratives down. And in keeping the same energy, Why did Demetrius Andrade said Canelo Alvarez shouldn't be fighting the guy that's 36 years old, Sergey Kovalev, who is a sitting active world champion, but he wants to go after a 36-year-old inactive Andre Ward? It doesn't make any sense. Unbiased or biased, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a contradiction, right? I mean, that's pretty much the whole extent of Andrade's career. Listen, I've been following Andrade's career, you know what I'm saying, since he was at 154. So I know every little thing that happened in his career. I'm not that's the thing. Even though I do know what happened, him ducking and pulling out fights himself, I still am out here defending the guy. And D could tell you, I was sitting there debating Get the Smoke for Andrade. So it's not like I hate the guy, but at this point, I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm hating the guy, because I'm honestly to the point where I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the dude out here clout chasing. He's calling everybody out, yet he's fighting bad. You're fighting Luke Keeler. You know what I'm saying? You're fighting those guys. Like, you could fight Derevyanchenko, and to come to find out that Luke Keeler was a voluntary defense. A voluntary defense. He volunteered and handpicked Luke Keeler to fight. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, come on, bro. Like, it really has to get to a point where I can't be out here defending you and you're fighting bad when the other guys, the opportunity to fight Derevyanchenko was right there. He already said I'll fight Demetrius Andrade, but you're picking Luke Keeler. Nah.
Well, that was one contradiction, but here's another interesting thing about the whole situation, because no one's upset that he would mention Andre Ward, who's inactive, who doesn't have a belt, when there's active smoke in his stable. Think about it like this. Demetrius Andrade said he want to fight Jamal Charlo at 168 if Charlo's moving up. I have no problem with that, but here's the thing. Charlo don't have a belt at 168, so if you're willing to go up for 68 for Charlo with no belt, if you're willing to go up for Billy Joe Saunders for a belt, and both of those guys made it clear they don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. They don't want it. So why don't you get that work on the same side of the street with a Callum Smith? Callum Smith has no opponent, and Demetrius Andrade has no opponent. He's willing to go to 168. Ken Canelo, would have to fight Demetrius Andrade next. He would make it impossible to not fight him next if he took Callum Smith's belt at 168 and he got a belt at 160. That fight has to happen. Am I wrong?
Bro, remember, Newt, a few weeks ago, we was talking about this, and I said that. I was like, Demetrius Andrade, and he's still doing this dumb shit. You cried about, don't nobody want to fight you, which is a lie. Which, people do want to fight you, but don't nobody want you still crying that same song. But I said this a while back. Go up to 168, fight one of those champions, then you are a two-weight champion that warrants you a fight with Canelo. And when that interviewer asked this fool about 168, the first and only name he mentioned was Billy Joe Saunders. Think about it. Guys, go watch the interview. This shows you he's a fraud, bro. He's clout chasing right now. The only name he mentioned was Billy Joe Saunders.
And I'm wondering why he won't mention Derevyanchenko. Even the Eddie Hearn interview, Eddie Hearn had to name Derevyanchenko as an opponent for him. Well, and then Nuke, when you sent me that thing of Andrade naming the names of the opponents that he could possibly fight, Derevyanchenko wasn't on the list. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? This dude don't want to fight Derevyanchenko. Go fight Derevyanchenko. That's like, I don't get it.
The conversation was brought up in that interview. He was saying the conversation was brought up on behalf of him mentioning Andre Rozier and him being Derevyanchenko's trainer, and him saying that, Demetrius Andrade was his nephew, and him saying that they wanted to fight anybody else in the world, but they don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. So that just eliminates that conversation right there.
What do you mean? Derevyanchenko didn't want to fight?
Andre Rozier was saying that they wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade because that was his nephew, and Demetrius Andrade was out of the question. So that whole conversation, them even getting to the Billy Joe Saunders, them even segueing to the Billy Joe Saunders part of the conversation, was on behalf of them speaking on not fighting Demetrius Andrade. So that's why I'm saying Demetrius Andrade just eliminated in that conversation if you just happen to miss that piece of the interview, if you only caught the quotes or whatever.
Which from what interview?
The AB News interview that he just had last night or yesterday when he was
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Eddie Hearn brought it up. And when they were about to fight previously, when Demetrius Andrade's team didn't want the fight, that's what I'm talking about before. But I'm saying as of right now, you're saying that Rozier is saying that that fight's not going to happen right now because he trains.
Yeah, he's saying they won't fight him because they trained Derevyanchenko, and that's the one fight that they wouldn't take. So
that's too convenient, bro.
That's I don't get that.
Yeah. That's way too convenient for
because you know why that. Hold on, real quick. Let me hold on. But let me debunk that. You know why that doesn't make sense? Because Andre Rozier also trained Danny Jacobs, and then they fought. Danny Jacobs and Derevyanchenko fought, and he was both of their trainers at the time. Matter of fact, he stuck with Danny Jacobs at that time, and then Derevyanchenko had to find a new trainer for that fight.
I don't know.
So,
he said Andre his family. He said he like his nephew or some shit. But I know when Eddie Hearn did the interview in the car when Demetrius Andrade and him was talking on Instagram Live in the car, he asked Eddie Hearn asked him would he be interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade. He said yeah. He said he'll fight him. He's like, make it happen or some shit like that. But I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not defending that man in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that's what I seen with my own two eyes in those two interviews. So, and I heard. But what his intentions are, I don't know.
That's weird because, I mean, that's a contradiction, literally. Because Danny Jacobs and Derevyanchenko, both Rozier fighters, they fought, and then so you're telling. I mean, I don't get it. Maybe Rozier's protecting Andrade or some shit. I don't know. The
dude, it's crazy because the interview, these dudes, they drinking together, and they drinking a Cinco de Mayo, so they taking shots together or whatever. And the kid was just like, the question to Andre was, he was like, you know, Andre Rozier, he was like a guy, you know what I'm saying? I love that, blah, speaks very high of you, you know, he's your uncle, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he said, you know, he was speaking on his fighter Derevyanchenko and how, you know, out of all the fighters, he was like, they would take any of the champions. He was like, but you wouldn't be the only one they would fight, considering, you know, y'all family or some shit like that. I don't know.
Man, that's
for me to go back when I look at Demetrius Andrade when he spoke on Andre Rozier after Andre Rozier and Danny Jacobs fell out and these guys fell apart, and he said, "Well, can I go fight Danny Jacobs because you know that you guys no longer working together?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And so, but still, no offers are being made. These guys are on the same side of the street. At the end of the day, and Demetrius Andrade also said something interesting in the interview. He said, "I'm about to retire. I can't keep chasing Canelo and this and that."
What?
Yeah, he literally said, I have the quote. And
bruh.
And if you're saying, you know, and because he's saying he don't have a long time left. You got to think about it. The guy's 32, has not fought a career-defining fight yet. Not one. So if you're Demetrius Andrade and you're talking about being great, daring to be great, then go ahead and make that Andy Ruiz fight. If you think it's sweet, if you think Andy Ruiz Jr. is sweet, because, you know, we all make fun of him. He's fat. He's out of shape. He likes tortillas. You know, the guy can't stop eating pizza. He's a cheeseburger eating machine. I get it. Andy Ruiz Jr. is a fat slob. I get it.
Don't forget the fish tacos.
The fish tacos. But here's the problem with it. Here's the problem with Andy Ruiz Jr. The guy can fucking box. The guy does have skills. The guy has elite hand speed. And now that he's with Eddie Reynoso, he's going to be a fucking problem for the heavyweight division. And if Demetrius Andrade feels so inclined to be great, to move up in weight and fight an Andy Ruiz Jr., because you know fucking well, Ruiz can't come down on no weight. That shit ain't going to happen. He can't make no other weight but heavyweight. That shit ain't going to happen. Two hands going. So we know he can't come down. So if we look at it, when you break down the fight, Ruiz only needs to hit Andrade one time flush, and that shit is over. It's fucking over. And I'm going to tell you why it's over. Because if he can wobble AJ, and Demetrius Andrade's been dropped at 154 by Bonis, what the fuck you think?
Exactly.
Ruiz Jr. is going to end his career. Andrade's going to try to run from him the entire fight. His jab ain't going to affect Ruiz. You can't do what AJ did. AJ is an elite heavyweight boxer.
Yo,
ain't no motherfucker.
Oh, man, bro.
Ain't no motherfucker at 168 going to stay lateral on no goddamn heavyweight Andy Ruiz, man. Get your ass up out of here talking like that, bro. Look, man, it must be he must have ate that tequila worm. That's what it is. I'm gonna give him a break. He ate that goddamn tequila worm. That motherfucker straight tripping right now. He's seeing all sorts of rabbits, lions, tigers, and bears and shit. Toucan Sam talking to him on the front porch. All types of wild shit going on with Andre right now.
Bro, I can't believe I'm still stuck on the fact this dude wants to retire.
Hold on. Black and Brown says, why are we talking about Ruiz versus Andrade? Andrade said he could beat Ruiz. See, this is what we're talking about. If the conversation was Canelo talking about he would fight Kovalev at 175, everybody throws Better Biev in there. Everybody throws Better Biev in there. Oh, Canelo must be afraid because he's talking about Kovalev and not Better Biev. We got to keep the same fucking energy. So are we saying that Andrade should be fighting Joshua? That Andrade should be fighting Fury? This is the problem when people say shit and then they don't backdoor it the right way. See, I know this Punch Quote. See, Punch Quote, I see you in the comments. And the funny thing about Punch Quote is he's saying, well, you know, the Andre Ward talk, you're trying to dismiss it. But when everybody mentions Canelo and Ward, and Canelo and Kovalev both being 36, you got a fucking problem. At least Kovalev was a 36-year-old active world champion. Andre Ward is inactive. He'd be at a strategic disadvantage to an Andrade who's 36. But my thing is this. I still pick Andre Ward to win. I just think he's levels above anything Andrade has ever been in his career. And I think Andrade is a hell of a fighter. I think he can give a lot of people hell. I think he should go up and fight Callum Smith at 168. I think he could fuck around and win that fight. But you won't know unless you take it.
And he didn't even mention, Callum Smith. He didn't even mention Jose Benavidez. He didn't even mention Caleb Plant.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Now, they say Canelo is afraid of Benavidez and Plant and all this in certain styles. Why is Demetrius Andrade never fought a slick style fighter like Lara? Because that fight fell apart. So why is he not looking to fight Caleb Plant? See, that's what I'm saying. Our energy got to be the same for every fucking body. It can't be one way for this guy and one way for that guy. D, why is he not mentioning no other champions at 168 except for Billy Joe Saunders, Jamal Charlo, who's not a champion? Why are those the only two guys he's wanting to fight at 168? Why is he not willing to fight any other champions?
Because what they're saying to me is this guy clearly don't want to fight the great guys, bro. You can sit up there and cry, don't nobody want to fight me, this, that, and the third. But bro, you passing up opportunities and all that. And speaking of certain fighters, Lara in question, you won't go fight Lara, but look who's calling out, or look who's willing to fight Lara right now. The same guy that you pulled out of a fight in, Jermell Charlo. You fucking garbage, bro. Demetrius Andrade straight garbage, bro.
And that's the thing. Like this, I'm still caught up to the fact he wants to retire. What is your legacy when you retire? Vanis Martirosyan. That's your legacy. That's it. That is it. That's not, on some real shit, that's nothing that nobody could hang their cap on. Like, this guy has done almost literally nothing in his career, and he's talking about retirement. The fact that
he's the definition right now. He's the definition of a paper champ right now.
I don't get it.
We got to be perfectly honest here, because if any casual fan even tries to break down Demetrius Andrade's freaking resume, or even tries to understand Demetrius Andrade's resume, they're gonna be fucking lost, especially American fans, because you ain't gonna be able to pronounce one of his fucking opponent's name on the goddamn resume. No, look, I'm dead ass serious. You tell me, you go look at his last 10 opponents, anybody, and you tell me what normal fucking everyday law-abiding American can pronounce that shit. So basically, he ain't even had one fight in America yet. That's why don't nobody know all of them motherfucking names on it. Man, look, I can't pronounce half of them shit. He need to fight somebody, man. It's getting bad.
So two hands. I'm gonna tell you this. Now, you know what's interesting? Demetrius Andrade really needs a big fight. And Caleb Plant said he's free in September. Why don't these two guys? And he's already made a $7 million offer to Jamal Charlo. Charlo made it clear that he does not want any part of Demetrius Andrade. He just don't want that fight. So if he don't want the fight, stop fucking asking him and move on to the next guy. The next guy, Caleb Plant, got a belt. He said he want, he's free in September. Andrade needs a big fight. D, can that fucking fight happen?
That fight can happen. Caleb Plant will not duck no smoke with Andre. You're talking about don't nobody want to fight you. You're talking about getting or doing something to warrant the Canelo fight. Well, beating Caleb Plant would definitely be something to put your name in that hat with Canelo. And Caleb Plant, as I said before, these guys at 168, they're not ducking you. You talk about don't nobody want to fight you. I guarantee you Benavidez will get in there, Plant will get in there, and Smith will get in there. So go make it happen with all that mouth you got, Andre.
Where's the seven? Let's make a $7 million offer to Caleb Plant, the same offer you made to Charlo to Plant, and let's see if both of these guys keep the same energy with each other they had with Canelo. That's what I'm saying. Unbiased. So they're gonna keep that same fucking energy. Does that fight make sense at 168?
Yeah, it does.
Plant?
Yeah, and for the people wanted Canelo saying that Kovalev was old, better, and he should fight Better Beef. Better Beef is 1 year younger than Kovalev. So I don't even get that narrative that they trying to push there too, because they about the same age. They're 1 year apart. So like Andrade need to go to 168 and fight one of them guys. If he's gonna call out Andy Ruiz a fucking heavyweight, then yeah, he should even try to fight a light heavyweight if you're gonna go to heavyweight, right? So if you're gonna go all the way to heavyweight, why can't he fight Better Beef? Why can't he fight a Bivol? Right, since you're going to fight Andy Ruiz, who's much bigger than these guys.
168, because Bivol said he'd come to 168 for Canelo. Then why can't Andrade just offer Bivol $7 million and say, "Here's that $7 million I was going to give Charlo. I'm going to give it to Bivol. Let's go to 168." Is he going to ask for that smoke? Because I ain't heard Bivol come out of his fucking mouth.
Right.
Look, man, Demetrius Andrade is not going to fight no Bivol or anybody like that. It seemed to me, because honestly, the interview was really fucking weird to me. The fact that the only name, once again, that he mentioned was Billy Joe Saunders. So in my eyes, he's looking at Benavidez, he's looking at freaking Caleb Plant like, that might be a stretch of a problem. But you looking at Billy Joe like he might be sweeter than the other two. Man, look, at the end of the day, if you're willing to go up to 168, motherfucker, you need to be willing to fight anybody else that's up there. Because right now, bruh, you like a bummer in the corner hanging out the cup hoping for some change right now. Nigga, you need some boxing change, nigga. You need that shit in the form of an elite opponent with a belt. So go up there and fight somebody and whoop some ass, or get your ass whooped, like Leon Muhammad said.
Look, and I tell you like this: while you're sitting there and you keep talking, Billy Joe Saunders, it's a good chance Billy Joe Saunders might get in there and whoop your ass, because let me tell you something. He got a little bit to get with Andre. He got a little bit of pop, and I'm not confident of Andre's chin. Let's not be surprised if Billy Joe don't get in there and whoop his ass.
Look, I'll put it like this. Here's the thing about Andrade. I think Andrade could fuck around. I think the best fight for him at 168, if he wanted to be pick and choosing, go fight Callum Smith. The guy went life and death with John Ryder. You got more skills than John Ryder. Go in there and fight Callum Smith. What the fuck is the holdup with that? I feel like that's the perfect offer. Eddie Hearn looking for fight for Callum. That's perfect.
Hey, no, on some real shit, we need to smack the shit out Callum Smith, too, because he been motherfucking holding on to a Ring Magazine belt for an awful long damn time, and he ain't done a goddamn thing.
Look,
he about to get his car pulled.
Callum Smith needs to be evicted for being a straight pussy, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you got a Ring Magazine belt. Second of all, you really want to John Ryder. Why in the fuck are you not trying to rematch him? And then you price yourself out of a Canelo fight. This guy got to be the dummy of the year.
Yeah, he a whole retard. You turn down the Canelo fight. You talking about you don't want that fucking fight. At the same time, you've been holding this Ring Magazine belt. And I don't think you fought anybody in the top 10 in the past 18 months, bro. You trying to hang your hat on that receded headline George Groves win, bro. It's time for some action, my dude. And you ain't been doing nothing, bro. Like, come on, man. Hassan Mendon, bro. And then John Ryder, you got a smaller dude pushing up on you, bullying you, pushing you to the ropes, beating up on you, looking like Jake LaMotta in there. Like, you look like a goddamn lamb to the slaughter out there, bro. Like, what is this guy doing? It's time for this man to work, man. For real. I'm getting about sick of this dude. He over there acting like the 168 prima donna holding on to the Ring magazine belt and shit. Like he did something deserving of the motherfucker. I mean, okay, yeah, you did earn it. I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, bro, what have you done to sustain it? Absolutely nothing. That bitch is getting real moldy, bro. It's getting real moldy, bro.
That's a fact.
Yeah. You know, Callum Smith, don't be the Jamal Charlo of the UK, dog. don't turn yourself into the Jamal Charlo of the UK, man. You need to get out there and do something with yourself, Callum.
And the bad thing is, Eddie Hearn don't have no confidence in him in the John Ryder fight either. Because as soon as they was asked about getting a rematch, you know, he threw that to the wayside real quick. And you want to know why? Because he seen his boy get his ass whooped in that joint. It's just so bad that he had to play 50-50 because, you know, both fighters fucking work for him. You know, but at the end of the day, you know Callum got his ass whooped. You just want your little blonde-headed, tall, blue-eyed golden boy holding on to the Ring magazine belt. It just didn't look better with the stumpy guy that came in there, played Jake LaMotta, made it look ugly and whooped up on his ass holding the Ring magazine belt. But nah, he needed because Callum Smith ain't doing nothing to hold on to it right now.
I've been saying this about Callum Smith for a while, man. This dude really is a light heavyweight campaigning at 168 because he don't want to go up there because he will get that work. He will get stopped by majority of those guys. I see Joe Smith. I could see somebody like Joe Smith knocking him the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So he's campaigning at 168 to hide from those guys. He really should be at light heavyweight. He's not fighting nobody good. He really lost to John Ryder, like you said, and he don't want that rematch. I don't even think he wants to fight Billy Joe Saunders. I don't think he wants to fight him. So really, he should just give up that belt. And Andrade should go up there and try to fight him. That's the good fight right there.
Unbiased. Here's my problem with Callum Smith too. I'm glad Two Hand brought this up. Look, think about it like this. Callum Smith said that, you know, if he could, and you know, since he's not getting a Canelo fight, he's looking for the biggest fights out there. What happened to the unifications? I'm hearing talk about a Danny Jacobs fight. What happened to the unification? What happened to sending an offer to Caleb Plant, to David Benavidez, to somebody else? What happened to those fights? Danny Jacobs just got to 168, and Danny Jacobs talking about fighting Gabe Rosado. No one even wants to see that.
You want to know what it seems like? It seems like he's trying to take a fight that people would be accepting of, that, you know, seems a little bit safer for him, instead of him getting beat up and embarrassed on the world stage and him having some form of fear of that. Because in his mind, it burns in the back of every fighter mind, especially when you know you took a loss. I don't care what the judge said. You know you took a loss against John Ryder. He probably scared of what had happened to one of them against one of them champions, especially Canelo.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. There's a reason why Callum Smith asked for $10 million for Canelo. There's a reason, because Canelo would have went in there and made Callum Smith look like Rocky Fielding, and then everybody would have shitted on Canelo for doing it. That's the problem. We don't keep the same energy, and this is what I'm telling everybody. Andrade could turn around. Andrade could take a few fights, and he would be on the path to greatness. Go fight Callum Smith. That's a winnable fight. You can make guys fight you by simply taking those fights. Callum Smith is a winnable fight for you. Go take that fight. You know, if you really want to do it. He's fearful of what would happen, because if he wasn't, he would have been and said his name. He would have been and said his name. Talking about Andy Ruiz, there's no way that this guy's gonna do it. Now, Andy Ruiz would roll up Demetrius Andrade like a breakfast tortilla. That's exactly what he would do. He would turn you into a breakfast burrito. You really don't want the Andy Ruiz smoke. Andy Ruiz only needs one shot. One shot. You talking about being great. What if Andre Ward did take this shit serious and he came out of retirement and fought Demetrius Andrade? How in the hell do you see that fight, D?
No, listen, that's like me going to fight a fucking kindergartner or something. I mean, like, bro, it makes no sense, bro. What he's talking about makes no sense. You don't have anybody on your resume even as good as Andy Ruiz, in my opinion. Think about it. Now you're talking about a guy that's better than anybody you fought, but it's like 4 weight classes up. Are you stupid? Like, this is not even worth talking about. Bro, I'm telling you, he must have been on some real serious drugs that night. Even with the Andre Ward reference. So, yeah, I get why you're talking about Ward, but you're not beating him, Andre.
Bro,
I guess I need some new glasses because I don't see why he's mentioning Andre Ward. I don't see that shit because he need to keep Ward out his mouth. I mean, that's an all-time great. Okay, he is never. He's not even fought anybody like Two Hands said. There's nobody he fought that's even comparable to Andre Ward's resume. Man, Ward come out of retirement right now and dust Andrade off without breaking a sweat. Yeah. I don't get it. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm biased. I didn't even mention his best opponents. I didn't even mention fucking Carl Froch. You know what I'm saying? Like I completely left him off the list.
Right. I think Froch beats Andre. I think fucking Kovalev beats Andre.
Now
it's just disrespectful, man.
Black and Brown, you got feedback, man.
Hold on, Black and Brown, my brother. Welcome to the show. I know you definitely got to speak on this. Black and Brown. What's your thoughts on all of this transpiring with Demetrius Andrade, Andre Ward, and Andy Ruiz?
I don't see how Demetrius Andrade is going to bring up Andy Ruiz's name when he won't even stay in the pocket with Selecki. He wouldn't even stay in the pocket to fight Selecki. He was running all over the ring, dodging Selecki, but he's going to stay.
Black and Brown.
Technical difficulties.
Salute to Charles D, my brother. I know you got something to say on this.
Yeah, man. Doodoo said his fucking jab is going to do what?
Yo, Charles. He said
that Callum Smith fight.
Oh, all right, but I was gonna say, Charles. He said he got better footwork than Andre Ward.
Yeah. Listen, first off, this nigga looked. He looked clumsy in his last fight. He said his jab would stabilize. Do you know what Ward does to people? He takes your best weapon away from you.
Facts.
Kovalev was a big ass puncher. That jab 1-2 was gone in the second fight after that first one.
All right.
What the and he doesn't and he doesn't even have the power to keep Ward off him.
Right. Exactly.
So did he call Andy? Did he call Ward out? He called Ward out as well.
Yeah.
And he's talking about retiring in the same interview.
Yeah,
nigga. I was trying to. Yo, you want to know what's funny? Is I was trying to. You know what? Boo Boo need a big fight. Niggas is ducking him. Yada yada yada. Then y'all said this interview, and then you was like, and he called out Andre Ward. My footwork and this. I was like, nigga, what?
Wow.
You been calling Space Cadet this whole time, Charles.
Nigga, I stay calling Boo Boo. I'm biased, you know this. I call that nigga. Yep. That nigga got an out the lunch sign on his neck. I've been saying that shit for a while.
You say we got to give Charles D the Keeping It Real award because he kept his shit 100 for a long time. He been keeping that same fucking energy for a long time.
I like Boo Boo and niggas is ducking him. And you saw my comment and he was like, hey, why he didn't fight Laura? Because Laura whooped that ass in the Emmys.
Boom.
Right,
man. When that cocksucker hold ringing lineal titles from 2000 for fucking goddamn 4 years, from 2000 and goddamn 9 to goddamn 2014, you holler at me. I don't got, man. Look, I just don't understand the bullshit this man is on. This man can't be serious, man. Like, what type of man? Look, like I said, bro, he drank that fucking tequila worm, man. He need to shut the fuck up, man.
I think he's believing his own hype. He believe in his own hype because can't nobody be that fucking stupid. And you got to be believing your own hype. Black and Brown, what were you going to say about Ruiz versus Andrade and Andrade versus Ward? You got cut off when you initially spoke.
No, I said that he wouldn't even stay in the pocket with Selecki. What makes us think that he'll even get into the ring with Andy Ruiz? He's so scared to get knocked out, bro. You can go watch his fight. Just his last 2 fights alone. He's scared of power. He's scared of getting knocked out. He don't want to get knocked out, so he won't stay in the pocket.
That's something, and Black and Brown, let me tell you something, bro. That's something that I've been saying about Andre for a minute. It's his willingness to engage. As a fighter, you got to know that you're going to get hit. This is a fight. You're going to throw something, you're going to take something. And it's a different from being elusive and defensively responsible than being unwilling to engage. And when you watch Demetrius Andrade fight, that's what I see. This is a fighter that's unwilling to engage. He's fearful of it, guys. He's fearful to engage.
that timidness is not good for boxing. And I don't give a fuck what no one says. That's not elusiveness. That's not defense. That's fucking fear.
That's a nigga
Yo,
on his,
but D,
on his
what I
feet
will
moving.
I agree to that to a certain extent, but I will say this is boxing. Like nobody wants to get knocked out.
No. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. But you
Yeah.
know, some guys will. There's a certain risk, amount of risk that you have to take.
Some niggas to take that on the chin and then be like, yeah, what's
You
going to happen?
understand? Sometimes you get there with fights,
Right.
and sometimes you got to take certain risks. And I'm biased. I broke it down. I showed you.
No, you did.
When Andre decides to take those risks, he's already pulling out when the punch is coming in. So where's the balance on that punch, bro? Where's the power on that punch? His weight. I've sat there and shown how he does not transition his weight. He doesn't.
No,
he doesn't
down
on those things because he's pulling away before he's even getting it in, bro. Trust me on this, bro. It's a difference. This dude Andre is. Oh man, I've been saying he overrated, but he's talking crazy now, dog. Because I don't even believe you where the rest of them, the rest of your fans believe you are now. But to call out Ward or Ruiz, like I said, I'm not even joking. Who on Andre's record would you consider better than Ruiz right now?
Who the hell would you consider better than
nobody.
Andre Ward or better than Dirk?
Yeah,
he hasn't fought nobody.
Nah.
And that's been my whole complaint with the nigga. Fight
I'm still stuck on
all the best dudes in his weight classes, man. All the best dudes that was in his weight classes, though, he beat them. Went up, beat them. Like, what has Demetrius Andre done? I'm still waiting on the answer to that shit.
All you got to do is SOG Super Series. That's it.
Boom.
That knocks out his whole career. That knocks out Boo Boo's whole shit.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Let's pull all of that back and say SOG Kovalev. That knocks out all of Andre. Cause look, Kovalev is way better than anybody Andre ever faced.
Right.
No, but you also Kessler, Abraham.
That's it.
Abraham. But you also got to look at when you said Kovalev. You got to remember this was at a point where nobody wanted to fight Kovalev. Not even Adonis punk ass. Because soon as Adonis punk ass saw Ward win that title, what did he do? He called out Andre Ward, and I saw that shit. I was like, "You punk motherfucker!
Hold on.
You ain't say shit when Kovalev was whooping ass."
Hold on, Charles. Here's the interesting thing. IBT, click the link. Charles, I do want to say this. Did people forget that Archer Better BF turned down the Kovalev fight? Do people forget that?
He did.
That Unbiased can vouch for that shit. He got the receipts.
He did.
I can vouch for that shit too. That's why I said it. Because soon as he knocked Kovalev off, what happened?
So if Better didn't want it, I mean, come on. Let's just be real about this shit. So if Andrade's being selective about who he'll fight at 68, I'll fight Charlo and Saunders, two guys that want to fucking fight you. Fight Callum Smith. Fight Caleb Plant. Offer those guys $7 million. See if they'll take the fucking fight. See if they'll take the fight. I don't understand why you won't offer that $7 million to anybody else but Charlo, because you know he's gonna take it.
But Nuke, the thing I'm still stuck on is the retirement shit. Like, are you kidding? You go retire with just a Vanis win, and like Two Hands said, guys, we can't even pronounce. We don't even we can't pronounce these guys' names. And
you damn right. There's a bunch of motherfuckers who end with ski and who the fuck?
Who is that nigga for? Literally.
Well, they think Demetrius Andre fought two guys named Hernandez, and I don't know either of them.
well, here's the thing. Andrade says he's going to retire. At some point, because he's not, soon, because he can't keep chasing Canelo. And now my thing is this: your career shouldn't be based on no fucking Canelo. If Canelo couldn't get Floyd, his career wouldn't have been just fucking based on that. At some point, you got to realize I might not get this guy. I got to go somewhere else. And if you go fight a Callum and snatch that belt, that opens up a Canelo fight. If you beat the shit out of Caleb Plant and show the world you the fucking truth, that gets you the Canelo fight. Like, just one fucking fight. And then these are all big fights. You're begging for a Charlo. Why are you begging Charlo for a fuck? Who the fuck is Jamal Charlo?
But IBFP, bro, it makes sense. Because
that Charlo fight would have made money because they honestly don't like each other.
You know why it makes sense that he's calling it?
No, that's it.
Because he's about to retire. That's why it makes sense. Now he wants to have the big fight. So now he's trying to get everybody in the ring now. But before, when people were offering him the fights, he was pulling out of fights. He was turning down fights. I mean, you know, the WBO ordered him to fight Korobov because him and his pops was out here saying they dust off Korobov. Then it got ordered and he fucking, oh, no, I don't want to. I never heard of this deal. I don't want to fight him. Like, I mean, like, bro, if he retires, I'm going to tell you like this, bro. If he retires in a year or two, bro, it's been a waste. His whole career has been a waste.
Same thing they said about Lara. Lara, he was like, that fight is boring. That fight ain't boring. He was gonna whoop your ass. You lost that shit in the Emmys, nigga. And then people give him heat for that shit, for not taking that fight. And Lara ended up fighting her. Nigga, that was for unification. That shit trumps anything.
But even before that, when Andrade had the opportunity to fight Lara, right? He turned it down and instead fought the normal champion in Jack Culke. That was when Andrade was calling Lara out heavy, and Lara said, okay, let's get the fight. And there's even articles, there's interviews of him saying Lara was boring. That's the last resort paycheck. If I can't fight Charlo and Hatley, then I'm going to take this normal belt that I'm going to win versus Jack Culke and then go try to unify with the normal belt versus Charlo and Hatley. So he didn't want any parts of Lara at that time. Like, and now, man, like that's his problem, bro. He ducked all the fights that would have made him a name. It's just crazy.
And then one thing that you know is Jermell Charlo and it is Landy Lauder. Both of those guys, since they're looking at a fight, both of those guys aren't scared to get in the ring with people. I mean, I might call Jamal a coward and a guy that tucks his tail between his legs, but his brother Jermell, no matter how mediocre of a boxer he is, he'll get in the ring and fight you. That's not a fucking problem for him.
Yeah, Mel won all the smoke, but 154, that's the problem. That shit is they playing hot potato with them damn titles.
IBT, let me go to you real quick, and then I'm gonna go to D. IBT, what do you think about all this stuff going on, man?
I mean, look, man, Andre has good talent. He had good promise, but you have to look at the facts, and the facts are he's never beat a sitting world champion. He's not really had a win that's, you know, a signature win. He's not impressed some people in the ring, and he has some technical skills that are good, but there's a lot of things like his balance, or he just fights kind of goofy. So even though he's a sitting world champion, he's not very appeasing to watch for some people. And then you have to look at the people he's ducked, right? And I think he's been ducked, and he's ducked other people. So I thought he ducked Lara. I thought he ducked Jermell. And he's also been ducked by Billy Joe Saunders and Jamal, right? But when you're going to have a Lara fight on the table, which would have been a big fight, and then you want to say, no, I want to fight Jack Culke, who, funny enough, he beat in the Emmys versus him losing to Lara in the Emmys, it just seems kind of suspicious. And you say, oh, suddenly that's a boring fight when that fight has history and you lost in the past.
Now, come on, D. I know you're ready to cook.
Yeah, it shows your heart. That will, you know, IBT, I love this kid, though. I love this dude. He always brings it. It just shows your heart, because I was about to talk about Demetrius Andrade's heart, bro. The dude has no heart. And what IBT just broke down right there about the Lara situation, it shows your heart. Like, a fighter want to get that get back. If you beat me, nah, I got to go beat this. That's the man that beat me. That's the heart. That's what a fighter's supposed to have. But that fight's not interesting. That fight's boring. No, that fight should be the most interesting to you, because that's the one you got to get past. He the one that beat you. But that shows where his heart is, bro.
I'm gonna make a quick comparison, D. If you know, Bud Crawford lost in the amateurs to Yardeni's Ugas. So if Ugas had a belt, let's say Ugas got a belt off of Manny or somebody, would Bud Crawford be coming with that same energy, or do you believe Bud would be in there trying to cook him right now?
Bud would come across. Yeah, he'd want that smoke.
Yeah, he'll want that smoke. And speaking of which, Bud need to entertain that. But
he does
later.
Yes, he does. He does, man.
Yeah, he needs to entertain that, because you guys been talking a little, you know, talking about Crawford. My bad, guys.
D, put the donuts down.
Yo, can I just respond to Martin Ramos? Yeah, he definitely ducked Jermell, because I mean you could Google this, and I showed you this too, Martin. There's literally a lawsuit against Rock Nation for Andrade to take money that he was promised to not fight Jermell. He was promised money to not fight Jermell and instead fight a lesser quality of opponent. That's literally in the contract. And that's why he sued Rock Nation, because he didn't get that money. You could even Google and look at the lawsuit and read it. He sued them because they promised money to not fight Jermell Charlo. He took the offer, signed the contract, and then didn't get the money. So he went and tried to sue them. So he definitely ducked Jermell.
Yeah, and if I'm being real, you could make an argument he ducked Deverenchenko and Korobov, but I don't think it was a duck as much. It was just things didn't work out right. But for sure, those two, I mean, when you accept step aside money, right, and it's not like they were building up to a larger fight. It was just, oh, don't fight them because we want you on our network. He's getting step aside money or fighting a regular champion when given the opportunity to fight a super champion. And Lara at the time, who had a very high stock, was seen as one of the best fighters at 154, right? I don't understand why. Inducted. Why wouldn't you want to take that fight if you were really about that smoke?
Well, here's my thing, IBT. Only thing I can go off is the fighter's history. So Demetrius Andrade's history is the first fight, with Deverenchenko didn't work out. The Lara fight didn't work out. Jermell didn't work out. So what's the fucking common denominator in all these fights? It's fucking you. So when everybody talk about money or this, like, it's a new fucking every excuse every week for any time a fight don't fucking work out. Yeah, he's being done now, but his whole fucking history is you fucked up. No matter what it was, your management, the money, I don't give a fuck. It's you. You gotta step up.
And I knew, bro, this is crazy, right? Because you'll defend Andrade and him taking money to not fight Jermell, but then they won't keep the same energy for those PBC fighters that when they do duck fights, it's because they're not getting paid enough. But that was Andrade's whole situation with Jermell, and he felt like he wasn't getting paid enough, so he went out and got a Rock Nation deal where they paid him to not fight Jermell. Like, that's pretty much the same shit to me. You know what I'm saying?
At that point, Rock Nation was overpaying people because that's around the same time Adrian Barner was like, $40 million. Fuck y'all. Yeah. And then he ain't make $40 million since.
Oh, look. But salute to IOTBA. This is one of the realest out there. If you don't know, if you haven't subscribe to this man. He's the motherfucking truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The IOTBA in the building.
But yeah, let's get back to these fish tacos 2 hands was finna hand out on these fat boys. Look, let's just be honest about the situation. Is there any fucking chance that Andrade was somewhat being honest? Because he mentioned it about 3 or 4 fucking times, again and again and again, that he would fight Andy Ruiz. Is there even a 1% chance that he would legitimately take that fight?
I don't know.
Hell
no.
I don't believe it.
Hell, are you fucking serious? You think he would honestly take that, and you believe the words coming out of his mouth? I whoop his ass. The same thing with Andre Ward. You talking about a fat nigga in shape?
Yeah, man. Nah. I mean, you struggling with Jack Colquet. You getting split decisions with him, and you want me to believe you're gonna move up to heavyweight and what, beat Andy Ruiz? Hell no.
Right.
No, because they would arguably be what, the same size. What Boo Boo's what, 6'1", 6'2". Andy Ruiz is the same thing.
Ruiz is about 6'3", so Ruiz maybe have an inch on him, but Boo Boo's
arms
on the outside, kind of keep his jab going, but his jab's not going to be shit. Ruiz felt much stronger power from AJ.
And that's what I'm saying. There's no power there to keep There's no power to keep Ruiz off him. Ruiz would that should be can that shit. That's dog food. He'll walk right through him.
Bro, once he hits him downstairs or upstairs, it's over. Either way. He hits him in the body, he's going to make him freaking cough up a lung.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think a grazing jab would stagger him. I mean, come on. Ruiz is like 250 pounds.
We got a comment in here saying, stop IBF, please. We got Demetrius Andrade in the chat, everybody. Because this has got to be who this is. If you want me to stop, we just got to be honest about the situation. If you think that he's going to go and fight Andy Ruiz, that shit came out of his mouth. It's not like I'm making this shit up. It's not like I'm saying, oh, he needs to go do this to prove himself. And none of this shit came from me. He opened his dumbass mouth and said this. He could have called out Callum Smith. He could have said, I want Caleb Plant. He could have said all this smoke. I got $7 million for anybody at 168 that wants to smoke. I would have been on here praising his ass. But instead, he wanted to go in there, pull his panties down and say, hey, I want Andy Ruiz Jr. to eat my tortilla. That's what the fuck he said.
Yeah. If that nigga would have said 168, 167 mil open offer, that's gangster.
That's gangster. But he didn't fucking say he got $7 million for Charlo, who don't want it at 68, and he got it for Saunders, who don't want it at 68. Offer that shit to Benavidez, Plant, and Callum, and then we'll see what's real.
If he'd have just put it out there, open challenge, dog. If no one would accept it, I'd be like, you know what? This nigga the boogeyman for real. This nigga threw out $7 million. Open challenge 60 to 68. Man, listen.
And I would concur that too. If
niggas would have had a whole lot of explaining to do if they ain't accepted.
I'll put it like this: if you got a whole division to turn down $7 million,
a whole two divisions.
Come on now. Come on, anybody.
And I'm telling you, look, Benavidez, Plant, I believe they would take $5 million. Just because they feel like I'll beat this dude's ass. Just give me $5 million. I'll beat him up. Get him out of here. Talk about nobody want to fight you. Go offer those guys some money.
Listen, if he would have said $7 million for 60 to 68, and nobody would have barked up that tree, conversation be totally different.
And that's keeping the same energy. Charles is just being 100% right. I mean, the conversation changes if you make a offer for anybody $7 million, because you know everybody ain't making no fucking $7 million. Somebody would have took the fucking money. But
you goddamn right.
And if you can pay Charlo $7 million, real quick, Nuke, if you can pay Charlo $7 million, then you can pay GGG, Deverenchenko, Caleb Plant, Benavidez, Callum Smith, because they're all worth the same money as fucking Charlo, or more. Some of them.
That's a good argument. But that would be like the start. If you starting off at $7 million, then that means they know that they can negotiate. There's room to, you know what? If he's starting there, we can do something.
Right.
But for two weight divisions, and you could do some shit like that.
But remember, Charles, Eddie came out later and said that he would have been willing to go to 10.
Damn.
Yeah, and he also said, "Fuck it, I'll set my fighter there if you can match it."
Exactly. He said he would be willing to go to 10, or you would send him there.
So he'll send Andrade to the PBC if they can match the money. So there's no reason, if Plant's available, Andrade willing to go to 168 for all this work. That's the perfect fucking fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that offer was for Andrade against Charlo. He was like, "Well, as long as Showtime could match it, we'll send him over there." But they didn't even entertain that shit.
Why can't we make that shit for Plant though? If you know Charlo don't want it, stop barking up a tree. The guy's a pussy. He don't want no smoke. He don't want to fight nobody. He just don't. He want to fucking fight tomato cans and clout chase names. That's what Charlo's doing. He's happy with that. Fuck it. I'm gonna let him do it. But you know, if that's what you want to do, he's already a coward. I'm gonna leave him at coward status. Andrade, go get that Caleb Plant work. Offer that $7 to $10 million. Offer him to go over there. If Andrade go do that, get the belt and bring it back. In my eyes, he's a motherfucking soldier.
You want to know what I would say? I would start on some G shit. Start calling niggas bluffs.
Boom.
Fuck that shit. I'll just send send these niggas bread. Let's see how serious they are. If you're gonna put a cutoff, $10 million, okay, what's the difference between 7 and 10? 3 million? That's the same thing as what's the difference between 70 and 85%? It's a matter of a couple of things. Fuck that. I'll just throw it out there, just call niggas bluff. Here we go. You want 10? I'm capping off at 10. That's what you asked for. I'm giving you what you asked for. You don't take it.
That is, of course, Charles B. If you really want to call these niggas bluffs. And that's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. If these niggas really want to fight, call a bluff. Throw it out there.
Can I address a comment I'm seeing in the chat right now by Roy Wynn saying, why can't Andrew get the fights with Canelo and Triple G if they're on the same side of the street? Well, first of all, they're in different points of their career, right? I mean, Triple G's already been a former unified champion. He's defended that belt, and then beat Triple G, and he's been moving up, and he's on his way back down. He's been a unified champion, Ring Magazine champion, lineal champion. Andrade has only been a WBO champion in 2 weight divisions, and he's never defeated a sitting world champion. So they're at completely different points in their career, if you look at it that way, and I would like to see them get that fight. But currently, at the moment, it looks like Andrade is not able to get those fights for either money reasons or just things aren't working out the right way. But you don't have to chase 2 fighters for your whole career. You can just, fight better opposition and then truly build up your name as the boogeyman. But you're not going to do that fighting guys like Luke Keeler. I mean, come on, that wasn't a mandatory. That was a fight he chose. That was a voluntary fight he chose to take.
Yeah, they also said if he would fight Derevyanchenko, he said he would, but then he backtracked on that one too.
So I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is the only problem I got with people like Roy. Why can't he get fights with Canelo and Triple G? So first of all, one is the face of boxing. So if you look at it like this, if you say, why can't you get a fight with Canelo? Everybody fucking wants Canelo. Canelo's been fighting champion after champion. So that was a dumb question to ask, especially if you saw Andrade's done nothing with his career. As far as Triple G, Triple G, he's already said he don't even want to fight Canelo next. He's got his mind made up on who he wants to fight. A made up mandatory. That's what he said he wants to fight next. That's the fucking truth. So at this point, why can't Andrade fight another world champion? Why would you mention Canelo Triple G when we mention, Andrade fighting another world champion? Talking about a Caleb Plant. What's wrong with Andrade fighting Caleb Plant? What's wrong with Andrade fighting Callum Smith? What's wrong with him getting the same smoke that everybody else is getting at the top? You got to redistribute all that fucking energy and be real about the shit. Am I wrong, Two Hands?
Absolutely not. I feel as though, every fighter gets treated with the same energy. So if Demetrius Andrade ain't holding up his motherfucking end, we're going to give him the smoke too. And as of right now, Demetrius Andrade ain't holding up his end. He's saying a whole bunch of frivolous, belligerent, inebriated sounding shit. So gotta hold this motherfucker accountable for it. And let's be serious here, bro. You don't have one credible name on your record. You need to get one on it. You 32 years old. The clock is ticking. I do admire you from the eye test when I evaluate your talent. But at the same time, bro, when you're talking about you'll be Andre Ward, stop it. You ain't even half the man Andre Ward is. You ain't even Andre Ward whole career swallows everything you've done up. And you know what I'm saying? 1 year, what Andre's done in 1 year, you ain't even accomplished that yet. So I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, bro, like, let's be honest here. We gotta be honest here and highly objective with these fighters, man. You can't sit up there and say PBC guys ain't doing this and PBC guys ain't doing that when we looking over here to the zone side of the street or whatever side of the street. If Demetrius Andrade is exhausting every effort to fight every champion that is available to him, then we feel bad for Demetrius Andrade. Then we start pointing fingers at everybody else. But I see if he talking 168 and Billy Joe Saunders, he need to be talking 168 and Caleb Plant. He need to be talking 168 and Callum Smith. He need to be talking 168 and goddamn Caleb Plant, and Benavidez. He even need to be talking 168 and Danny Jacobs. Regardless, he need to be talking 168 and some fucking body. What is this man accomplishing? Nothing. He is accomplishing nothing at 160. Jamal Charlo, that nigga's a flat tire, bruh. Throw that shit in the garbage, bro. Let that nigga go. Leave that nigga on the side of the road. He wants no smoke. So you need to be evaluating where the smoke is, bruh. So that means you need to stand up tall on whatever little perch you on, bro. Look out at your surroundings, bro, and look where some smokestacks is, bro, and run to that shit, my G, because you ain't doing shit right now. And the shit you saying right now, bro, I'm not even going to blame it on the liquor. I'm not going to blame it on the boredom. I'm going to blame it on a lifetime of missed fucking opportunities, and you ain't got nobody but to blame yourself for that shit right now.
And look, I got a question though.
Go for it.
The funny thing is, it went from 60 to 68. He ain't say shit about light heavyweight, and then he jumped to heavyweight.
Now, he jumped to heavyweight with Andy Ruiz simply because he sees fat and he thinks he can just run circles around him like AJ did.
Okay, what about 75 though?
Oh, he don't want. He says 75 too dangerous. He don't want to fight Better BF. Better BF touches his chin, he goes to sleep. What he doesn't realize is Andy Ruiz touches his chin, he's going to sleep. You can't even hold Andy Ruiz Jr. Snickers bar. What are you talking about? You can hold this man damn Snickers bar, man. You can't take those shots. Look, Jamal Charlo's a coward. He don't want to fight. We all know that. And Callum Smith, we're going to keep that same energy for him. He's a fucking coward too. He's a coward too. The expectation that comes along with the ring and all that shit is a very high one. And you sitting up there acting like a pussy. That's why I'm waiting on Callum Smith's next fight. If it's anybody, then another fucking world champion, he's getting a fucking evicted.
But hold on, Nuke. What if he give Ryder his rematch? You gotta give him.
I will respect that. That'll be the only fight I'd give a pass to, other than a fucking champion that he won't.
He's not giving. He's not going to give Ryder that rematch.
That's cool. I mean, is that cool with you, 2 hands? Other than that, he got to get a victory.
Like I said, if you gonna go back and fight the guy who really beat you, you know what I mean. I gotta respect that. But at the same time, outside of that, there is no ifs, ands, buts about it. Callum Smith needs to be in the ring with a top 5 guy. You've been holding that Ring Magazine belt, and you ain't even living up to the stipulations of having that motherfucker. So you gonna get a victory. So you better get on your shit.
Yeah. I'm with that. I agree totally. I was just like, I agree with everything Nuke said. As a matter of fact, it's just I just wanted to say that Ryder, because I think Ryder deserves a rematch. So if he get Ryder a rematch, he get a pass by me. You know, I'll let him get away with that. But anybody else, it's got to be a unification, bro. It's got to be.
Absolutely, I agree with you. We all saying the same thing. Like, if you like John Ryder straight up beat that man, you know, fuck what the judges say. So if he goes back and fights John Ryder, you got to give a man a pass for going back and fighting the dude who beat you. If you go get your L back, that's an honorable thing to do. Outside of that, if you're not doing that, if you ain't fighting no real dogs up there, bruh, then I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Right.
Yeah. Look, and if when you get evicted this time, you know D the type of dude's gonna walk in your house, leave donut and shit everywhere, all over your floor. Fish tacos on the counter and shit. You gotta be real about this shit.
Nah, fuck that, man. You gotta get real disrespectful, man. You walk into their living room and they talking some bullshit, you wipe your ass with their curtains, nigga.
Damn, just got spooky.
Wipe your shit and walk the fuck off here. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, but look, guys, let me ask Luke. Can I bring something to the table?
Go for it.
Okay, so why is GGG not talking about fighting Canelo next all of a sudden?
Look, D, I'll break it down to you very easily. DAZN has a thing where they're paying him $15 million for every fight. I mean, he's getting $15 million for fighting Steve Rolls. Why would he want to fight Canelo next when that puts a bunch of mileage on his meter? When he can fight guys like Sir's Menta or Steve Rolls, or he can just fight guys who aren't even household names in their own house, right? He can fight them and get the same amount of money. He wants to prolong his career at this point, because if he fights Canelo now, he'll lose, and then where will he go from there? He'll essentially be an injured former champion that people are going to try to pick up on, when instead he can be a current world-sitting champion. He's been proven, right? So he still has a good name. But he can't fight Canelo and beat him, and that's the fight that he's going to have next if he fights an elite champion. So he just wants to prolong the amount of money he's making, because the more he fights random bums, the more money he's going to get from his DAZN deal.
Okay, so does the DAZN deal state that if you lose to Canelo, deal's off?
No, but I don't think, like, where do you go from losing to Canelo? You know what I mean? Are you going to fight another champion? It's very doubtful that he would have a lot in the engine to be able to still make another title run.
My problem is this. We can't give all these guys other heat and then say, oh, GGG's cool because of the business. No.
Yeah, I disagree. I think
you can't sit here and give all these guys heat and then say, well, GGG's cool because he gets $15 million for this guy. No, fuck that. That's like, everybody's in line for Canelo. We just gave Caleb Plant massive heat about being in line for Canelo and not jumping on the opportunity, not taking the fight, basically. All GGG been crying about, Canelo, I want Canelo. Now he get Canelo. He gonna take.
I just kicked his ass about 2 weeks ago, D.
Yo, Nuke, drop that link again. IOTBA trying to jump on.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the link again.
Yeah. I just don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give him an excuse. I think it's really dumb, especially since everyone is in the Canelo sweepstakes, and then you're going to turn it down for sure. I can't even say his name properly. Suzumenta, the Polish fighter.
Yeah.
No one really wants to see that kind of fight, right? So that's not for the people. It's clearly a cash grab, money. It's a business move. It's not a move that speaks greatness. At the moment, it seems like Triple G, I know disrespect, I think he's had a great career, but at the moment, it seems like he knows that time is running out. and he wants to get as much money as he can before he makes it out of the sport, which is why I want to see Canelo get Triple G over with, you know? I just want to see that fight be done because the more time we wait, the worse it gets.
Yeah, guys, which leads me to another. Who is Triple G? Who is Triple G with? Who is he signing?
DAZN. He got the same fight deal. He only 2 fights in.
Who is Demetrius Andrade signed with?
Matchroom.
DAZN, but he ducked Demetrius
Andrade. Now, look, this is where I'm going with this. Now, let's be honest about it. If the PBC would make these two guys unify, would that not be a problem? If they was with the PBC and they wouldn't make this fight happen, the unification, would that not be a problem?
Definitely.
Demetrius Andrade and DAZN tried to make that the first fight when he came over, but he would not fight Demetrius Andrade. He chose to fight Steve Rhodes instead. And DAZN is having a serious problem with what Triple G is doing. Like the same thing that happened with Snack. You know what I mean? Triple G is just, he's old run down. He's just old bones right now. And he's operating like that. Like, so it's shit about to hit the fan with Triple G if he don't get active. Like, alternative, I'm not with it. I've already said something. What you saying right now, I said the same shit about what Triple G did what Triple G doing 2 weeks ago, bro. Because Triple G acting like, I've been calling him grumpy old Glovkin because of this shit.
Right. Yeah, bro. I mean, it's ridiculous. All of this shit going on right now is ridiculous. All of these guys, bro.
Yeah, like Triple G, bro, you signed on for Snack, bro. You didn't even want to, like, you got kicked out of Snack. Like Victor Conte kicked you out of Snack, bro. He kicked you out of Snack because you couldn't do the drills, bro. You couldn't do the drills. And not only that, you didn't even want to wear the damn gear. You didn't want to wear the gear. That's why he kicked you out of Snack. Like, what is up with this guy, man? Like, what's up with him? So then you, like you said, you complain about this Canelo fight. You campaign for it for a whole freaking year. You ducked Demetrius Andrade and waited to what you thought was going to be an easier route till you get in the IBF. You know what I mean? And then what you end up doing, you end up having to fight the same person that you ended up, you know what I'm saying, going around and fighting Vanas Martirosyan for in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and then he ended up dogging you for real, and really you ended up taking a whole shitload of damage for that. So at the end of the day, like, he needs to fight He needs to fight Canelo, because if you ain't fighting X, Y, and Z right now, bro, you don't have the luxury right now in your deal when you only 2 fights in to sit down and be like, hey, I don't want to fight Canelo right now. That's not a good idea, X, Y, and Z. When really, I think Jonathan Banks has a lot to do with it. But you're 37 years old, bro. Something's got to give. And I fuck with Triple G. But at the end of the day, bro, man, you can't hold the game hostage, man.
And I just want to let IOTBA know, I just dropped the link for you, my brother. I was having a hard time with my computer for a second, but we back on track. We got everything straight. So you should be able to jump on. And I know IOTBA really want to speak to this Andrade situation. Salute IOTBA, Mr. 214.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, IOTBA?
Did I drop off or?
No, I think so.
I'm here. Can y'all hear? I'm in the building. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on, man? I know you wanted to speak to this.
Landlord in here, Nuka.
Yes, sir. That's me right here, IOTBA.
I can't see nobody.
Can everyone else hear? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You good? Are you good with IOTBA?
Hey, man. Shout out to IBFP. Shout out to Nuke, the landlord, you know what I'm saying, one of the kings in this boxing shit on YouTube and just in general, period. Shout out to Two Hands, my motherfucking dog, D. Jefferson, one of the smoothest when it comes to talking this boxing shit, and ferocious as a motherfucker. Shout out to IBT and my dog, Charles D. Now, this is my thing. I just wanted to jump on her real quick, because it seems like this is my thing right here. I don't never like to put the pressure on another fighter because other fighter in particular don't want to fight them. It seemed like Demetrius Andrade get this bad rap because particular fighters don't want to fight him, and then when they don't want to fight him, then we'll go on, get on Demetrius Andrade about other fighters. When the fight that he won, people won't even give him the fight. That was the same thing with the Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford situation. I'm like, goddamn, why we finna take this pressure off of Earl Spence and say, oh, Terrence Crawford fight Sean Porter? You know, people start pushing that narrative and getting mad at Terrence Crawford and calling him all type of names because he want to fight Earl Spence and people was trying to push him to Terrence Crawford. I just don't get it. Like, Charlo is the one playing Doug Goose. Andrade always said that he wanted the Canelo fight. The Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. This is the same dude who I now recognize as the 10 man in boxing because he has no heart. Because when he had the opportunity to fight Canelo before all this stuff went down, he turned it down. So him and y'all want this Andrade? Come on now.
Now, IOTBA, to be fair, and the comparison that we're making is when you look at Bud Crawford,
man.
When you look at Bud Crawford,
I think I'm gonna have to drop off. I can't hear y'all. I just wanted to get my piece out, man.
I appreciate that, IOTBA.
I'm gonna drop off and go back to YouTube.
Okay. The only thing I'll answer IOTBA, I don't know if he can hear me, but I'm gonna just say it. The comparison that I get with all of that is for one, Terrence Bud Crawford was already undisputed. His legacy is already set. So if Errol Spence don't want to fight him, he can fight Manny Pacquiao. He can fight Sean Porter. He can still have big fights. His pretty much his legacy is not dependent on Errol Spence Jr. He's already accomplished a lot in the sport, being undisputed. Demetrius Andrade has not even proven himself at the elite level. So if if Charlo don't want it, Andrade's 32 years old. He doesn't have time to sit around and wait on Jamal Charlo to decide, well, I'll fight you now. He needs to fight someone immediately. He needs to make a fight now. He needs to go and fight somebody. And Caleb Plant is a guy who's open. Callum Smith's a guy who opened. I mean, I'm biased. I think you wanted to speak on something real quick.
Yeah, I had to jump back on, man. Yo, salute to IOTBA, man. But listen, man, Andrade, you can't really compare him to Bud. Andrade turned down and ducked fights pretty much in his career. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, like, yeah, we could go at Charlo, which I think everybody on this panel has flamed the fuck out of Charlo for not fighting Andrade. You know what I'm saying? But then when does it stop? When will Andrade fight somebody else? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about him saying fuck Charlo and fighting better. We don't want to see him fight the Keelers and then still be out here saying, oh, this guy's ducking me. That's like Luis Ortiz. When Luis Ortiz was out here screaming, AJ's ducking me, but he fighting Kanjanu and fucking Kaufman. Like, come on, bro. So I can't say, Andrade's being ducked, but I mean, that's like using the Luis Ortiz model to me.
And then Ortiz gets the fight and then turns it down. I need 10 million.
Right, exactly.
Like, motherfucker, he just gave you 3 straps and what, $5-6 million? Wasn't it before that campaign? I'll fight you for a $5 Happy Meal or a $5 value meal. Like, nigga, what the fuck?
Right. I'm just saying, like, Andrade, yes, I want to see him versus Charlo for sure. I want to see him versus Derevyanchenko. I want to see him versus Korobov. Shit, give me Korobov. I'm cool with that. But I can't, I flamed Charlo. I debated for Andrade in favor of Andrade, but we got to also keep the same energy and say, hey, look, there's a whole other playing field at the middleweight that you could be fighting. And you talking about going to 168 to fight Billy Joe Saunders. So if you're already planning to go up there, why not fight the other guys that are up there, like Callum Smith or David Benavidez or Caleb Plant? That's all that we're saying, you know what I'm saying? Because people, when Canelo went up to 175, they told him to fight the whole division up there. So if Andrade's saying he can go to 168, then hey, bro, you can fight other guys up there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're saying. And at 160, there's other people he could fight besides Charlo, like and Triple G, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not about to shit on Triple G's whole career for Andrade. Yeah, I flamed Triple G when he didn't want to fight Andrade. I flamed him too. But that dude, Triple G, how long was he at middleweight and was holding straps? Oh, a long time. Technically, he's a Hall of Famer already.
Unbiased. Roy Wynn just put in the comment. I need you to answer this real quick. He said, you have to be fair. Spence can't fight Bud coming off the accident. There are other PBC fighters Bud can fight.
Hey, listen, D, People, IBT, y'all know how I feel about the Bud situation at welterweight. My stance is this, man. Yo, Bud, I'm gonna say it like this: Bud don't need to build his career off Spence. Like there are other people in that division that he could fight. The Ugas fight, I'm cool with that. That's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Because people feel like Ugas beat Porter. You know what I'm saying? Spence could have fought Ugas, but he didn't. Let's be real. That was his mandatory. For some weird reason, Ocampo went ahead of him and he fought Ocampo instead. So I'm just saying, I'm cool with the Ugas fight. That's a guy who beat you in the amateurs. That's some get back too. You know what I'm saying? So Ugas, Sean Porter, I'm good with that. Lipinets, I'm cool with that too. I'm not just gonna tell Bud to sit around and wait for Earl Spence to actually want to fight. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other fights for him, and that's why I think people should do it on Andrade too.
It's basically, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say on Vice. It's basically the same damn thing. Like, look, guys, y'all don't have to wait, especially a Bud Crawford. Like, he's even in a better situation than Andre because he's already accomplished things. But with both of them, y'all don't have to wait for these motherfuckers. Go beat up, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And then it gets to the point where the fans are going to be like, oh, Canelo ducking this, man. Then it gets to the point where the fans, all of the fans are going to be like, oh, Spence don't want, and then the heat's going to be on them. It's not like that now. It's, half the people think one way, half the people think the other way. But if these guys start achieving and start collecting championships, collecting belts, accomplishing things, then the tables turn.
I'm going to put it like this, D. If Canelo didn't fight Austin Trout for a world title, would he have gotten the Floyd fight? Fuck no. So you can't expect Andrade to walk into a Canelo Alvarez fight if he ain't fucking fought nobody. You're winning vacant titles. So go out and beat a fucking world champion. Go out and that's where the energy's coming from. Jamal don't want it. Billy Joe don't want it. You can't keep fucking asking the same guys over and over and over. Like at some point you put up that 7 to 10 million and you give it to somebody else that'll take it. That's a world champion. There's other world champions that will fight you, but you still want to keep picking the same guys again and again and again. That is where my energy is. I like Andrade. I think he's a good fighter. I just want to see him face somebody at the top. He's 32. He's going to be on the downslide very, very fucking soon. And then what's going to be the excuse when he gets his ass kicked? He was too old. They waited him out when he didn't want to take any fucking fights. Let's just be honest and unbiased about the whole fucking thing.
Right, that's the thing. Like that's why my energy is like that with Bud. Listen, I keep the same energy. So if Bud, let's be real, right? If Bud start knocking out, like if he go in there, he destroy Ugas. The common consensus is gonna be like, yo, Bud is that guy. Like, let's be real. People feel like Ugas beat Sean Porter, and some people feel like Sean Porter beat Earl Spence. So if Bud went in there and dusts Ugas off, the whole conversation switches, and then he goes and he dusts off Lipinets. The conversation is over at that point. Who the guy is at welterweight? Then he goes in there and he keeps dusting people off. That's what I'm saying. You got to go in there and dust off other people for the guy at that division to come and look at you as, all right, well, he's made a fucking name. I got to fight him now, because there's no way he could get out of that fight, because everybody will be pressuring him indefinitely because Bud is out there putting in the work. That's the same concept with Andrade. But it's different, though, because Bud, at a technical standpoint, is already the Hall of Famer. So
Exactly. Bud is already set in his career. Andrade, it still needs that one fight that make him something, to prove something. Like, you got to be the sitting world champion, not a guy who just picked up a belt. Let's be real about it. Two hands, go for it, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this man just holds, multiple vacant world titles. You can't really say that you got any of those titles over beating any #1 guy. So at the end of the day, man, like, people got to understand this whole thing is about keeping the same energy. So I'm not going to sit up here and sound like the guy that's like, I'm just, biased against the PBC just for, Deontay Wilder reasons or Charlo reasons. Nah, it's not that. It just all goes back to boxing. And at the end of the day, Demetrius Andrade hasn't fought any opposition and bump the two guys that he want. Outside of those two guys that you want, what is warranting you getting those two guys? Because to be perfectly honest, Triple G is on that level where he can kind of call shots. It's just not on that Canelo level, but underneath of him, he in that bracket. You know what I'm saying? So those two gentlemen right there, bro, you don't even have one name to say, okay, you know, it makes it intriguing, because as a champion, there's a bunch of people that got belts. Motherfuckers don't know their names. And I mean, Demetrius Andrade, you kind of fall in that conversation. And the only reason people do know your names is for those people like myself that have been harping about you getting the opportunity. But now when I'm looking at the shit, there's some opportunities that you should be taking. And it might not be the fucking fights you want, but shit, it's better than the fucking fights you've been fucking getting and taking. Because, I mean, shit, is Eddie Hearn starting to get upset with the shit? Because, I mean, he should be.
He should be. And he got Eddie Hearn has a lot of fighters that are not fighting each other. Billy Joe and Callum was supposed to fight, never happened. You know, you look at a guy like Danny Jacobs Andrade, fight could have been made, never happened. These are all in the Matchroom. These fights need to fucking happen. These guys need to, you know, tighten up and show something. So IOTBA say, so y'all mad because he persistent about the Charlo fight. It's
no. Come on, IOTBA. Listen. D could tell you, I debated for Andrade against Charlo. Nobody's mad that he wants to fight that guy. But the thing is, bro, Charlo don't want to fight you. So if Charlo don't want to fight you, then there's obviously more other fights that you could take, you know what I'm saying, than Charlo. That's the point that we are making. You know what I'm saying? The guy don't want to fight you. So.
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same shit
over and over, hoping for a different outcome.
Exactly.
Okay. So what the fuck would Demetrius Andrade be doing to constantly barking up a tree when we know he's not getting a fight? I've campaigned consistently. I'm on Jamal Charlo's ass. Pause. I be nailing him to the wall. I call him Wilder 2.0. This is all facts. So it doesn't have anything to do with Jamal Charlo. This is a guy that won't fight him. I mean, we're beating the dead horse. I mean, shit. I mean, we gotta let that go. I mean, it just comes time to we have to let it go. The only way that fight is gonna happen, it is completely out of Demetrius Andrade control. It is out of.
Well, hold on, wait, real quick, two hands. Hey, Bruce Vane, jump on the panel, bro. Don't just chat, warrior. Come up here and talk. Let's have a conversation. Come up here. Don't just be in the chat. Come up here, bro.
Is that really Bruce Vane?
If it is, come up here, man. Jump on.
That's because,
jump up here, man. Drop the link.
Account.
Drop the link for Bruce, because if that is Bruce
right now,
yeah, he getting bodied. So jump up here. Let's debate. No burner accounts. Come up here and let's get it.
I guarantee you that's somebody trolling, somebody trying to spark something up. That's not Bruce Vane. I don't think he's that crazy to jump on this panel with us.
And the main issue is that IOTBA, we aren't just having this claim for Andre. You're saying, why aren't we showing it for Charlo? It's because we've already done 10 lives on Charlo, right? We're pushing around Andre right now, but we've been beating up on Charlo. So now it's time to push around Andre, because we have to look at the facts, and the facts are, if these two guys are the ones consistently not taking your fight and they're the only ones you're calling out, why aren't you stepping outside of your comfort zone and truly trying to achieve a unification or another title in another weight class against a world champion?
Right. And how can you sit back and watch Canelo? I don't give a fuck if it is Rocky Fielding. He's stepping up. He's moving. He's capturing belts at different weight classes. He's achieving. So how can you sit back and watch him do that, but continue to call him out when he's doing all of that and you're doing nothing? How about you go do some of that and then call him out? Just do just a little bit of it, Andre. I mean, he went from 160, 168, 175. Just do a little bit of it, Andre. Go capture one at 168 and then call him out. You're doing absolutely nothing but fighting Sulekis and Keelers. Get the fuck out of here.
Ironically, Rocky Fielding would be the best win on Andre's resume, because he'd be a sitting world champion, a former world champion. And Andre has never had that.
Right, like Jamal Charlo, he won't fight Demetrius Andrade because he literally, you know, falls underneath whatever Al tells him to do. We already know he's going to go in whatever direction Al's going to go. So I'm off that. As far as Canelo is in full control of who he wants to fight, and he in full control of, you know, his money. So he don't look at, I mean, I guess he just ain't, he not looking at Andre like it's just a sexy option. And I've always said, if Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade were to fight, that would make his case. Or Triple G were to fight, but Triple G don't want to fight him. And to be perfectly honest, Triple G don't really have to unless DAZN push him in the position where they saying, look, dude, man, we got you for 7 fights, over $60+ million, I believe. You need to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, he gonna have to do something outside of that to make it look appealing. So he might have to go for 2 for the price of 1. Fight a Derevyanchenko, fight a Danny Jacobs, you know, and that more than makes your case.
Fight anybody. Fight Korobov. Like fighting Luke Keeler, that doesn't do anything. Like let's keep it 1,000. That don't do shit. Nobody's looking at the Luke Keeler win as progressive for your career. And let's keep in mind that was a voluntary defense. He handpicked Luke Keeler and said, "I'm gonna fight this guy."
Right, because if we want to speak fucking facts here, what champion that isn't a major marquee fighter don't pick and choose who he wants to fight? And then a lot of the situations when it comes to the fights that he's making, he's basing that off what has the fighter done or what has he made the fighter do. Like, that's how it's always been in those A-side situations. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. Okay, real quick. One second. I want IOTBA to be able to get his point across real quick. IOTBA, you can. The floor is yours, my brother.
And I ain't discrediting what y'all saying. I do understand fighters need to fight other fighters still. But my thing is, like, we talk about Andrade not doing nothing, not making a name for himself, not saying, oh, he done did this and that. Well, how can he do that if these particular guys don't want to fight him? I agree with y'all. I'm not disagreeing with what y'all saying. You have to fight other fighters. But the reason why he ain't been able to make that name for himself is because these guys will not fight him, bro. And speak to unbiased. You could say Terrence Crawford is already solidified. Well, if that was the case, if Terrence Crawford was already solidified and he had all this respect from everybody around the world, Terrence Crawford wouldn't be going through what he's going through right now to get fights, and he is that big name. He have did big things in boxing. So this will show you right here. It ain't about what you did no more. That's why this is the weakest era in boxing to me. And that's why I don't push the bullshit narrative on fighters like Andrade and fighters like Crawford, guys who can't get fights with these guys. Go ahead, Luke.
All right, so let me explain what the difference is, right? So, Altuve, how long have you been following Andrade's career? That's the first question I got at you.
I've been following him for a long time, but what do that?
All right, so then you know he turned down fights that would have made his career popping. Crawford has never did that. Okay, the WBO sanctioning body ordered him to fight Korobov after him and his father said they would take that fight. They said they would dust off Korobov. It was nothing. It was an easy fight. They turned it down.
Okay, so look, I'm not disagreeing.
Okay, no, wait, but I'm not done. You asked me which fight. Go ahead. The Jermell fight. The Jermell fight. There's a lawsuit from Andrade suing Rock Nation because they promised him $550,000 to not fight Jermell Charlo. That's 2. The Derevyanchenko fight. They were in negotiations. Apparently, Andrade said he needed more time. That's 3. Okay. The 4th fight, Erislandy Lara ducked him, fought Jack Colque instead. He said Erislandy Lara was a last resort paycheck. He's boring. He doesn't bring anything to the table. That's what he said. Those are not my words. That's what Andrade said. So those are 4 fights that would have made him a name. You can't tell me beating Lara is not going to make you a name. So I don't get that. Bud Crawford, he has never did that. Never. So we can't say that about Bud, but we could say that about Andrade. Bud's been undisputed. He has legacy, right? But when it comes to when it comes to popularity and bringing in that big crowds and whatnot, Earl Spence and Danny and those guys, I think they have more popularity. But don't get it twisted. Bud has way more legacy than those guys, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. Okay, you said Bud would never do that, right? And I don't got no problem what Bud did when he said this. You said he would never do that, but he said, why would I fight Sean Porter when I was the WBO champion and he didn't come fight me? He went and fought Earl Spence. So don't say he ain't did that. But then you talking about fights. I'm not saying Korobov fight wasn't a good fight. You talking about
and guess what I did? Guess what I did when I heard that? Guess what I did when I heard that?
No, hold on.
I called him out on it.
No, Unbiased. I know you keep referring across the board. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I know that you're gonna speak it how you feel. I'm not on here to discredit who you are because I know you're gonna call it down the middle. I'm not saying that. I'm just on here going at your points. You said the Korobov fight. Yeah, that would have been a good fight, but it wouldn't have turned him into a star. And with the Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade fight, one Demetrius Andrade the champion at the time, Unbiased?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you also remember, I'm not discrediting your lawsuit, but do you also remember how Charlos was trying to get him to come fight that fight on Showtime as the champion?
Okay. Then they also offered him the highest payday that he's ever gotten.
Listen to what I'm saying as the champion, brother. As the champion. It's like, I'm talking about as the champion. You know, why would he come to Showtime as the champion?
Well,
on their playing field. I'm not saying
wasn't he?
Well, to be fair, 1 second, IOTBA. To be fair, Andrade and Eddie Hearn said they wouldn't mind going over as champion right now to Showtime, right, Unbiased?
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Eddie Hearn said that.
That's a fact. No, but what I'm saying is I'm listening to what Demetrius Andrade has said, and to me, it made logical sense to me. Like, why would I be the champion? And I come to fight you guys on y'all promotion, on y'all stuff like this, and I'm the champion.
Because you're getting offered the highest.
Especially if you
hold on. Okay. Well, look. Okay. No. Well, hey, look. I got you. Let me combat that
real quick.
Real quick. Well, let me say this. What happened with Anthony Joshua and Charles Martin? Can you explain what happened there, ILTBA? That was Charles Martin's highest payday. Wait, no, hold on. That was Charles Martin's highest payday, and he was a champion. Anthony Joshua was not, right? And then what happened? Charles Martin, what did he do? He came over and took the highest payday that he was ever offered. Martin? Yes, he took the highest payday that he was ever offered to fight Anthony Joshua, who was not a champion, right?
Well, didn't Vasyl Lomachenko go over to fight Luke Campbell in the?
But this is what I'm saying right here. Like, that was back then before we seen how PBC been operating now. That was back then. So just think if Andrade would have sent this to the fire back then when it was going on, the way we seen over the years how they operate now. Listen, I agree with you. He needs to fight other people, but I'm not finna take the pressure off Jermell Charlo and say.
Nobody's saying not to. No, continue.
And say this and that to discredit. I can't do it because he wants them fights with them dudes.
No.
It's like if you
IOTBA. And the only thing I think that where we disagree is that we all agree that Jermall Charlo need to keep the pressure and a foot thoroughly on his neck for being a coward, for ducking Demetrius Andrade. Everybody on this panel agree with that. But Demetrius Andrade is 32 years old with no top win. At this point, he's in desperation mode to get a good name in a huge payday. His time is running out and his physical prime. He's already he's not 27, he's 32. So he absolutely must get a big fight now, and he can't wait on Jermall. Jermall Charlo's been ducking Deverenchenko for years. So for me to think that he's going to change that trend for Andrade doesn't make sense. I want him to take the fight. I think it makes sense at 160, but you can't force a guy to take a fight. So Andrade cannot put his career on hold simply for Jermall Charlo. Fuck Jermall Charlo at this point. Go fight somebody else, get a big name, payday in the belt, and show everybody you the fucking man. That's the only thing that we're saying. It's not that we don't want the foot on his neck. Jermall Charlo's a straight bitch for ducking it. That's it. We all agree. My only thing is we can still ask for the fight. but we need to turn our attention somewhere else, because then when Andrade's 34 and he's taking a big name, what then? You say, well, now he's so old and he should have fought this guy years ago. No, we simply only want the guy to fight the best caliber of opposition while he has some prime left, because what happens at 33, 34, he's not going to be the same fucking Andrade. That's all I'm saying. Wrong or right, unbiased. Did I get that?
No, you're right. And that's like, that goes back to the point. Like, he ducked those fights. Like, I hear you're saying he was a champion, but bro, again, I brought up the Charles Martin point. I'm sure I could go through out history and find champions that fought non-champions and received high paydays to do so. He was getting the highest payday he got before that. He was getting, I think it was $100,000 or $150K. He was offered $500K to fight Charlo. That would have been his highest payday. Like, so why wouldn't you? And let's be real. Let's be real. If he would have fought Jermell Charlo and actually beat him, that would be the best name on his resume today.
Hey, can I add real quick one last thing to this Andrade thing, man? Is Andrade is missing his opportunities as well, because IOTBA, you said that the guys he needs to be great won't fight him. I disagree with that a little bit, because if he could perform in these fights, if he can get in there with Selecki and knock Selecki out in 2 or 3 rounds, get in there with Luke Killer, sleep Luke Killer, get a real KO against Killer, he could do things for himself without these guys. But I think that he misses his opportunities a lot, because they put these showcases on for him and he doesn't deliver. So that he hurts himself inside the ring as well too. We can't just blame everybody else.
That's a fact. And again, man, just building your whole career off of Canelo and Charlo, I'm not understanding it, because to be honest with you, man, Derevyanchenko, that dude is nice. You know what I'm saying? You going in there, you saw what he did with Triple G, dog. So if Andrade go in there, dust off Derevyanchenko, the conversation is over. Like, you got to fight that guy, because he just beat the guy that everybody thought beat Triple G. You know what I'm saying? I don't get these fighters sometimes, man.
And then
like,
let's think about it like this, right? Let's say he goes in there and he beats Charlo. Okay, and he gets that belt. And, you know, Canelo's still doing what Canelo does, because even if he gets that belt, I'll put heat on Canelo. Yeah, go get that fight. But even if he gets that belt and Canelo's fighting, doing this thing, just beating Charlo is still not enough. If Canelo's taking, like, you know, have 2 or 3 fights lined up, of course, Demetrius Andrade is going to want that fight with Canelo. But what are you going to do after that? You understand what I'm saying? Are you going to defend well? Or are you just going to go back and start fighting guys like Keeblers again? And that's the thing. You got Canelo fighting well, and you want to continue to call this man out like he owes you something. He don't owe you shit, because you're not doing anything. You don't deserve the fight. The only reason I think that he should get the fight is for unification, but you haven't done anything. You're holding on to that belt, but you haven't done anything to want that fight. Your stock
and
is
sometimes we talk about Demetrius Andrade's resume, right? But it's not even his resume. It's what he does against these guys. He doesn't dominate these dudes. He goes in there and struggles against it. It's not even like Deontay Wilder. Like Deontay Wilder would get on his resume. He goes in there and knocks out bums, right? Hey, this dude's going in there and struggling with bums sometimes.
Split decisions.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's hard to make the argument for Demetrius Andrade, no matter how much we like him. We watch him fight. It's just not there. We just don't see it. There's no wow factor when it comes to him at all. So
because fans can deal with you struggling if the ultimate result is a knockout. That's boxing. That's exciting. That's what people want to see, the knockout. So if that's the result of what the fight is going to be, and fans know that coming in, they know that Deontay Wilder's potentially going to knock somebody out. But
and you know what? Like
nobody want to sit for 12 rounds and watch you gangle around the ring and go to a split decision, bro.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, when I said Wilder had a better resume than Andrade, like, thinking about it, man, somebody like Gervonta Tank Davis has a better resume than Andrade. Pedraza was a two-division champion. That and Tank beat him when he was a champ. And Pedraza has wins over Edner Cherry, has wins over Ray Beltran, Tevin Farmer. Like, Andrade don't even have that on his resume. And I shit on Tank a lot. You know what I'm saying? So And let's be real, I have not gone as hard as I possibly could on Andrade. I really haven't. I don't make videos on him. I don't talk about Tank because to me, Tank is a disappointment. And with Andrade, it's almost the same thing. It's really worse, but I'm not gonna flame him, as hard as we possibly should. I mean, his resume is not good, man. It's really
and that's why people should leave, at least concerning GGG having to fight Andre to Charlo. I think that's why, to a certain extent, you should leave GGG alone, because he's a once unified 2-time champion. Like he has something to, like, he'll go to the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame for sure. Yeah,
because again, he's unified already, and then he's a 2-time. Being a 2-time champion matters. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, so these guys,
his title defenses, yeah,
and the title. I mean, like, the list goes on and on. But what have you guys done? And look at the guys that you did. Like you just said, it was a voluntary defense against this Keeler, and with Jamal Charlo, a voluntary against Hogan. These are the guys you're choosing. Come on, bro.
And look, I just want to say this. Everybody, if anybody thinks we hating on Demetrius Andrade, just let you know that no matter who you are, and this ain't even a diss, we can talk about it respectfully. No matter who you are, what platform you're with, no matter what group, whatever you are, if you want to talk about any of this and you think we're hating, feel free. I'll drop a link anytime. You can come on here and speak your piece, and we can keep it respectful, just like we did with anybody else that has an issue. My only thing about this is we got to keep the same energy from Andrade that we do for everybody else. You can't want everybody to fight champions and shit, but then when it comes to Andrade, it's okay. You can't get mad when people say dumb shit, but then when Andrade say some dumb shit like he finna beat Andy Ruiz, it's okay. He can beat Andre Ward. It's okay. It's keeping the same fucking energy.
Derek Wilt says Triple G ain't fought nobody either. Are you trying to tell me that Triple G's resume is comparable to Andrade? Because if you are, you're fucking high.
That shit definitely. You are beyond high.
Let's kill this right here, Derek. He fought Canelo. You idiot.
Danny Jacobs alone was enough.
Derevyanchenko.
Danny Jacobs. Derevyanchenko.
Guys, put all them rounds together. 48 rounds of fucking war with all them names you guys are naming. That these other dudes don't even have 5 of them rounds. This dude got 48 rounds with dogs. And these other dudes Andrade and Charlo, they don't even got fucking 5-6 rounds with no dogs. So you can't compare those names.
Black and Bow Boxing came in on his Triple G shit. Hey, no, guys.
Yeah. Two hands is right, man. They don't even got a David Lemieux. You don't got a David Lemieux on there, man. That's sad.
Yeah. I mean, I put it like this. This is how different everybody's energy is with Andrade, because I think just guys like him and want to fanboy for him instead of being honest. Let me tell you why. Think about it like this. If Triple G would have fought Bonas and got dropped but still won the fight, everybody would have called him straight garbage. Garbage.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it. And look, let's stop lying to each other like Andrade has a big fan base. No one gives a fuck. That shit is boring. But at the end of the day, you got to make it entertaining by doing something more. You got to get outside of yourself, like Bud Crawford. He goes the extra mile. He didn't have to fight fucking Mean Machine the way he did. He chose that. Bud has levels to his game. And so he can choose to fight a different way to bring entertainment value to his fights. He could have just
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah. You know what fucked me up? When Unbiased put it like this, man. Demetrius Andrade has a worse fucking resume, has a shittier resume than Deontay fucking Wilder, man. And
No. It goes worse than that, two heads. You stop. That shit goes both ways, brother.
And hold on. I don't know if this is Bruce Vane or not. And he said Triple G ducked Andre Ward.
Man, that's not Bruce Vane, bro.
Hell no, nigga. That's fake as shit. Yeah, I told you I checked the channel. That's not the same person.
Hey, at least Wilder's getting knocked out. Wait,
Charles, how is Wilder's resume not better than Andrade?
No. I'm saying I'm not agreeing with that. I'm saying all their resumes is trash. Because I hold the same shit when all these motherfuckers, and mind you, I like Wilder, but that nigga's resume is his good garbage.
No, his resume is trash too. But no,
nigga, I said good garbage.
Really worse.
I didn't say good. It was good. I said nigga. I said the shit was good garbage.
And Andre can't knock nobody
because
out.
my argument
ain't
is
knocking shit out.
Yeah,
my argument is this, because niggas always say, and Wilder got 10 defenses. Who is his 10 defenses against? And then they be like, Bud need to build, and then they say Bud need to build this, he need to build this profile. Bud fought niggas with titles. Yep. I don't care who the fuck he fought, he had belts.
All right, but Charles D, look, just Luis Ortiz, Stavern, and Fury. I mean, like that's on Wilder's resume. You know what I mean?
It's over,
nigga. You still got
there, bro.
Fights to name,
huh? What's that?
You still got 6 more fights to name.
No, I'm just talking about as far as Andre.
We're talking about Andre
compared to Wilder alone. When you say Stavern, Ortiz, and Fury, that's it. Like Andre already loses. Like his resume's trash, bro.
But Charles,
and Wilder's knocking them bums out. Wilder's knocking them bums out. Andre's struggling with everybody who's fighting.
Wilder's resume is trash in comparison to like AJ and Fury. But if we comparing it to somebody like Andrade, his resume is like light years above Andrade.
And don't get it twisted. I like Andre, but I was saying that to put it in perspective. Demetrius Andre's resume is worse than fucking Deontay Wilder. That says a lot. So when we speak,
I like Andre too, and that's that's always my argument with him. This nigga's his shit is good garbage.
Yeah, it's worse than Sugar Tank Davis. Sugar Tank Davis.
Hey, bro, you know what I think? I think we all want to like Andre, but he just don't give a shit. He don't give a shit to like. But it seems like we all want to like him, but it just ain't there, man.
No, it's just that his skill set is there. It's just watch him.
You're
it's
talking
like,
about him like a prospect. Basically, we
exactly
talk about him like
you.
Black and brown.
That's the okay. A good point of that shit right now is when niggas watch Boots Ennis. Yo, we gonna throw him in there with Crawford. You gonna throw him straight to the killers, and then you look at him and you be like, yo, who he fought? The last nigga he fought was ranked 176.
Damn.
Well, that's the point. That's the point we're making. We're saying like Andrade passes the eye test.
Oh no. That's that's what I'm saying. The same thing with Boots. He passes the eye test, but who is he fought?
Yeah. That's the problem.
Like that nigga Boots fought this 17-year-old kid at the mall. What it looked like his last fight.
Yeah, that nigga ranked 176.
I'm telling you that. I've been saying that. But Black and Brown, I want to touch on something you said just a little bit ago. Listen here, bro. I don't have no dislike for Andre. I don't have no dislike for a lot of these guys. My dislike is the way they move and the shit that they say. I don't like the shit he's saying, and I don't like the way he's moving, but
he ain't living right.
What about no dislike for Andre, though? You know what I mean? Like, we trying to like Andre. Nah, it ain't like that. It's like, stop talking that shit and fight somebody. It ain't about me not liking him. You just shut the fuck up and fight somebody. You call him.
See, my thing is, my thing is I like him. My thing is I like him. He just don't give me nothing to back it up. I have people over my house like, hey, come watch this dude fight. He don't give a
his
shit,
resume
you know?
his resume is fucking trash.
Hold on, everybody. I just want to say what Boxing Monster said. He said D. Jefferson hates on everyone that's taller than him.
hey, that's the I Monster. You bring that energy to the next roast, nigga.
This shit is crazy. Like everybody wants to see him fight the best, but shit.
When he had the opportunity to fight
exactly.
It's
always some bullshit.
Right.
I'm not even tripping off him fighting the best. I want to see him knock these scrubs out. If he's gonna get in there with scrubs and knock him out, don't go in there and struggle with him and be timid with him. Don't stay in the pocket. That's one thing people like to compare to Terrence Crawford. Hey, Terrence Crawford's gonna stay in the pocket with the bums he fights. That's why Green Machine caught him that's why Green Machine caught him, because he stayed in the pocket. This dude Andre will not stay in the pocket with the bums he fights. Like DJ says, he's timid, super timid.
Look at Machine's not even a bum. Mean Machine was a top 10 welterweight, and Bud went in there, dogged him out, and stopped him.
Boom, stayed in the pocket with him the whole fight.
And then and look at the outcome of the fight. He finished it.
Yep, and finish it at the end. That's what I'm saying. These dudes, if you're gonna fight a bum, at least finish him. Don't go in there and struggle with him, because that's what we see. We see that. We say, okay, you're fighting a bum. All right, then put on a performance. Put on performance for us. Don't go in there and struggle with him, scared to stay in the pocket, be sloppy. Like, we see that shit. We can't deny what we see.
Bro, let me ask y'all this. Because a lot of people hold Danny Garcia and, to a certain level when it comes to welterweights.
He's got one of the best resumes. He's got one of the best resumes.
Right. Top 5, top 6, whatever you want to say. They hold him up there, right? If Judas Cavaliaskis was to go and beat Danny Garcia, possibly knock him out, then what would people say about Terrence beating Cavaliaskis?
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you what they'll say about Danny Garcia. He can cancel his 154 campaign. He can cancel that shit immediately.
They would.
But that's not like, I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that Cavaliaskis could come in there and beat Danny Garcia.
It's possible.
It's possible. Nigga, he didn't get Red Catch out of there.
Right. And if he was to do that, then bro, that should validate Crawford. But
but D, let's use that same logic, right? To when Andrade pulled out of the Jermell fight. If he would have beat Jermell, look what everything Jermell has accomplished. That's why Jermall Charlo's win over J-Rock, it looked better because J-Rock went in there and beat Hurd. So it looks good in comparison. Now, if Andrade would have beat Mel, look at how much Jermell accomplished. It would have been good on his record.
Right. And look, man. This is the thing. You have to beat people that matter or will matter or have shown that they matter. But you look at the guys that Andre beat. None of them matter. None of them.
Hell no. And he struggled with some of them.
Right. Like, we can't praise that, bro. I can't praise that when you calling out arguably the best in boxing, the most sought after in boxing. And this is what you've done? Nigga, if you don't go take your ass and do something with yourself.
Nigga, he lost me at I would beat Andre Ward, and then he wants to pick the fattest nigga at heavyweight, and you still not winning that fight. Like, nigga, you chose 2 losing battles.
And like I said,
he might get hurt in that fight.
Like I said, he skipped over 175. Notice how he didn't mention 175.
I'm biased. I said the same thing. He said 160, 168, leapfrog the shit out of 75, and I want Ruiz. Like, no, you don't. This nigga's bipolar. He don't know what the fuck he want.
I think people are sleeping on just how fucking good Demetrius Bivol is.
Yo, Bivol will wash Andre. Bivol will stop Andrade. He'll beat. Man, listen. Stop.
I like Bivol. I like Better BF. There's champions at 75 that I think he won't beat.
Bro, I'm telling you right now. I think like Kovalev. Let's look at Kovalev. Not Kovalev. Fighting Canelo so short off of the
You talking about Kovalev when niggas was ducking Kovalev, the crusher?
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say, like, okay, so Kovalev after the yard fight, so not the time frame that he fought Canelo in. Give him some time, let him get back in the camp. I don't think Andre he'll beat Andre.
Well, here's the funny thing.
You can even give Canelo
before he even fought fucking Anthony Yard. They were trying to pay him so he could step the fuck aside so they could take that fight. Kovalev wanted to have a hometown fight. That's what people were missing. He insisted that he have a hometown fight. That's what his whole insistence, because he knew once he got in the ring with Canelo, the shit was over.
Mm-hmm. And honestly,
man, listen, can't nobody tell me shit about that fight. I swear to God, I'm still mad about that shit. I was locked up in prison like, this nigga knocked out Kovalev. What the fuck just happened?
I'm going to say this, man. You could even take that Kovalev that fought Canelo, and I don't think Andrade beats him. I just don't. I'm sorry.
No, he's long, he's powerful. Man.
Yeah,
and nobody's seen Andre in there's nothing you can hold to say like, okay, he would whoop his ass. There's no comparison.
Charles, you know how Andre tries to come in and then he'll kind of lean out when he throws his jab. Kovalev too long for that.
That's what I'm saying. He got a long jab and he's powerful.
Kovalev too long for that. And that's Andre's main line of defense, if that's what you want to call it. And also when he does that, if you watch when Andre does that, he often loses balance. Losing balance against a guy like Kovalev, big mistake.
Facts. And Kovalev
he lost balance against Killer. He lost balance against the other motherfucker.
Right, he's losing balance versus bums, man. Like that, and Kovalev keep that jab in your face. He had his jab in Canelo's face almost the whole fight, bro.
And it's not a fucking pawing jab. It's not a jab to gauge distance. This is
it's a strong jab. This is I'm gonna fuck your eye, your nose, whatever I can hit solid. I'm fucking all that up.
Right.
You can't beat Kovalev if you don't have a fucking chin.
Yeah. And Canelo has a chin, and on top of that, he was slipping some of them shots, and he was throwing that counter right hand, which Andrade,
you're not beating him if you can't keep him honest.
Look, Andrade don't even want to
stay in the pocket.
Andrade don't even want to stay in the pocket to sit there and counter. How are you going to counter Kovalev running?
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't see him.
I wouldn't mind seeing Andrade fight Ryder at 160.
Ooh. I said the same thing, bro. I said the same thing. Cause John Ryder,
at this point, I'll take anything from these dudes, bro. I'm not even tripping. You can't get these huge fights. Hey, bro, I'll take anything.
That's facts, Black and Brown. That's absolute facts. God damn, we just won a good fucking fight. That's it.
That's it.
We're gonna see what happens Saturday with this UFC shit. If this shit works out, man, this shit might work for boxing. Shit.
But it seems IBFP, man. It seems like people want us to just continuously shit on Charlo instead of advising Andrade to potentially fight a good opponent. That's what it looks like. Like, we know Charlo's a duck. We gave him flame. We even defended Andrade. We made countless of videos doing that. We went on live, debated for him. Now we're saying fight better now. Don't fight that Luke Keeler. Don't hand pick a Luke Keeler. Go ahead and fight a Derevyanchenko. Go ahead and fight a Jacobs. Fight a Caleb Plant. Do something, because this dude talking about retirement. Bro, if you retire tomorrow, nobody's gonna remember you.
They're gonna be remembered as the dude. They're gonna be remembered as guys. People ducked this guy. The guy Canelo ducked, or the guys. That's gonna be their fake ass. It's gonna be a false narrative legacy. That's gonna be what they leave behind.
Ain't nobody gonna say. No, I don't see it as a false narrative. Hell no.
That narrative will fizzle away just like them.
Fast as shit. That should have a big ass asterisk next to it. Because he's retiring at 32. Canelo's not even fucking 30 yet.
Canelo's going to end his career. Also, Canelo's going to end his career as a fucking boxing great. Mark my word.
Look how many fights Canelo got on the table right now.
When you end your career as a boxing great, and Andre ended his career as such, that fucking narrative will fizzle right the fuck away. No one will even care about that narrative or Andre. And that's a fact, bro. I'm telling you.
Facts. And look, fellas, this is a great chat. We're going to wrap it up, give everybody final thoughts. Charles, Black and Brown, we'll go to you guys first, then we'll go to D.
Hey, man. Hey, Nuke, thanks for having me on, man. Respect to everybody on the panel, man. Two hands, D, Jeff, Unbiased, Charles. Thanks, guys, man. I'm out, man.
Salute, my brother. Charles, you want to speak to him real quick? Final thoughts on any of this?
Same thing, man. Thanks for having me on. Yo, two hands. I'm about to check that Tyson Fury shit that you done put hella work into.
Check that shit out, B.
Bias. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, B.
Peace, Charles.
All right, my niggas.
B, my brother. Final thoughts?
Yes, sir. Listen, man. Demetrius Andrade needs to either go do something at 168, try to capture one of those belts or something, or he needs to do what my brother IBFP Boxing Nuke says. Go smack yourself. But he need to shut the hell up talking about beating Ruiz and Andre Ward. Demetrius Andrade need to do something for himself. That's my final thought on that. Nuke, my brother, thanks for having me. Two hands up. Charles D, Unbiased. Man, for the love of sports, let's talk about it.
Talk about it. Unbiased. What I know your final thought is going to be something special.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? First of all, salute to the whole panel. If you guys haven't subscribed to Two Hands or Speak Your Mind Sports Talk or Nuke, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing with your life, but you need to subscribe to those three right there. And you know, Andrade, man, listen, you know, I defended you. I debated, you know, in your favor. So I'm saying right now, I need you to do better. Don't be calling out no Andre Ward, no Andy Ruiz, because that shit to me is just a clout chase. And you can't even hold Andre Ward's his gym shoes. Like you can't do nothing with Andre Ward. So you got to get that out of your mind. Stay focused. Go to 168 if you can. Fight a Derevyanchenko. But the whole everybody's ducking you and you can't fight great thing and you're giving us Luke Killer. I'm not with that, man. I'm not with that at all. And I'm gonna keep the same energy that I keep with all the PBC fighters that I got for Andrade. So that's where I'm at with it. And I appreciate you, Nuke, for having me on. Salute to Two Hands, D Jefferson, and Charles D. Thanks, man.
And Two Hands. I know you.
Man, as always, man. Salute to the chat. Salute to my brother Nuke, man. And as always, man, at the end of the day, man, what this all boils down to, man, the fans, man, we are fiending. We are fiending for competition. We are fiending for admirable competition on both sides. On both sides. Look, man, we're tired of seeing these throwaway fights. We're tired of seeing these no-name events, man. We want to see, you know, top competitors against other top competitors. So Demetrius Andrade, bro, you don't get any pass, bro. I know it's been a lot of PBC bashing out here, but you can get bashed too, bro. And you walk in that thin line of getting truly fucked up and getting evicted, bro. So all I want to do is see you just step up your competition. I done champion for you for a long time, bro. That's about all I got to say, man. At the end, as we always say, at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind.
Ooh. And look, let me give a big shout out to everybody. First of all, Charles D for bringing that real shit. I'm gonna tell, if you haven't subscribed to IBT, subscribe to that. If you haven't subscribed to Black and Brown Boxing, subscribe to Black and Brown. Be going hard as fuck. Subscribe to Black and Brown for real. He's gonna give you that real shit. Subscribe to D Jefferson. You know, as my son call him, the Donut Man. And you look, I'm gonna tell you this about D. D be putting out some real shit. D is probably one of the most entertaining guys I've seen. And I'm gonna tell you this: subscribe to Two Hands. Two Hands put shit together that is hilarious, informative, and facts. So if you want some real shit, subscribe to Two Motherfucking Hands Up, D Jefferson, Black and Brown, IBT, and of course, one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever seen, Unbiased or Biased Boxing Talk. We give love and respect to people that come with facts. Look, at the end of the day, no one's hating on Demetrius Andrade. We all like Andrade. I don't know about Charles, but we all like Andrade. I just think that it all comes down to we just want to see the guy in a great fight, utilize his skills to the best of his abilities. And if Andrade go out there and beat the shit out of somebody, he's gonna get all the fucking credit in the world. That's really all it comes down to.
That's it.
That's it. Two Hands, you gonna take us out?
Man, look, man. Once again, man, salute to the chat, man. Without y'all, man, we absolutely nothing, man. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. This is the motherfucking eviction notice. It's the motherfucking boss. And my man, Boxing Nuke, salute.
Salute, family. Until next week.